just let's not. Please, if Bart, Cybers, I beg both of you, pick your deck list so I'm not tortured by this any further. Oh, it's all good chat. And professional casters in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I've always been on, so
Of course.
it's no off for me. I'm just getting all of these decks ready while we are waiting. Good. So it's interesting they both banned Square Tile. So the one was Nature's Gift from Bart, and the other was Deadeye Ambush by DarkKevin. Yet they both felt the need to ban these. So I quite like this. The matchups are going to be surprisingly similar. We've got Scalagor Warriors, we've got Uprising, and then the only difference is Lockdown and Kelly. So perhaps that makes all the difference in the world. We'll see.
Maybe. I think it feels like DarkKevin Cyber's list was built with the intention of perhaps targeting Kelly a little bit. His lists feel like they're not terrible against Keltulis, so I'm not surprised that he hasn't banned it. Like we discussed earlier, I think some people came into this with the idea, I'm going to ban Kelly, and other people came into this with the idea, I'm going to target Kelly. So it's interesting to see that that's the line, and is that going to work? And it is Kelly, and it is Lockdown. It's pretty much the matchup we expected.
That's exactly what we predicted. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
It does indeed.
Well, you don't really want to face Lockdown as a Kelly, but it will still be interesting to see how this one goes.
And the Spores disappears straight away, as in round 1 you're unlikely to find value. It might find value later on, as remember this is Soldier Ball rather than any Cloggers shenanigans. So it may find some value later on in resetting Joachim targets, but certainly in round 1, it's unlikely you're ever going to get that to happen. Ooh,
of course.
Coup. Oh, now from DarkKevin, this is a very, very talented hand. Ramon in hand, round 1, is incredible as a thing that could exist. It's something that never happens to me, and I always end up finding that card in round 3, meaning I have to hold a 4 provision bronze, which is not what you want. So to find that in round 1 is really nice on his side. He's missed Yen, missed Joachim. In fact, he's missed both spies. But on the other side, not great draws for Bart. No Nero, no Heatwave, no Eigen, no Kelly, no Defender, no Siri. Wow. Bart has drawn almost none of the cards he wants in this situation. But he does have some engines.
No. It's not very good. You're seeing Osral there. You're seeing a lot of control, ironically, which might come in handy, it might not. I wonder if DarkKevin is going to start off here with Raymond by any chance. No, he doesn't.
No. Okay.
Interesting.
I suppose he can still choose to use it for a different engine there. That one instantly gets answered, testing the water a little.
Potentially locks, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps we want more locks.
For the
that always makes... Yeah, so the Armored Cavalry. If only he knew how Bart's hands look. That's not very nice at all. That's not a long round 1. I think Bart is going to pass at some point.
In this situation as Bart, you've got engines that you can play in theory, and there's not a huge amount of guaranteed removal on the other side. There's locks if there's no Veil. Now you've only got one Veiled engine, and of course Carapace locked by Lockdown. I don't think... Bart's got an option here. If DarkKevin doesn't choose to boost this, does he choose to remove it again and force more proactivity out of a Nilfgaard list that isn't exactly stacked with it normally? Maybe.
I certainly think that's the play here.
Takes engine value.
Well, that makes sense as well. That makes sense. At least it has Veil, so it is protected for now. I don't believe we're running any Assassinate cards in this deck. We aren't, so it's safe for now.
No, it's completely safe. There's not a great deal of direct removal in this list. So the engine we know will survive, and it is veiled, so it will also be okay. Has allowed the thinning of the hunting pack, though, on the other side. It was one of the few things that was going to do that. So DarkKevin will feel very happy about that. Half of the thinning options already out.
And problem is we don't have dominance.
No,
right?
We don't.
I would consider playing the Beast, actually, as it would make it easier to get dominance, but I think he's trying to get that locks out of a DarkKevin's hand here, because we know there are many locks. We have at least 5 of them, because we have Raymond, so there are 5 locks in this deck. Not good. We have the 2 Van Moorlam Hunters, which are both aristocrats. We have 2 Armored Cavalry, and we have 1 Raymond, which can create another Armored Cavalry. So I think we might want to get those out, seeing that we can't use our leader ability at all in this matchup.
No, and that would make sense. No, not having Veil to protect from that makes this really difficult. What's the line here? There's a very strong looking hand from DarkKevin. Most of them cards you don't really want to play here. Do you ever coup the currently dead engine from Bart and take your own, or do you just pass here? It's so strong a hand that you almost don't want to play here. And that's really difficult. That's a really difficult situation. He can't afford to really throw any of that stuff away.
Yeah, but that's exactly what Bart wants here. Bart was in a very tough position, and you really want round control as Callie. So he's now given that option, and he can easily catch up.
He can, and he's dropped Maxi Van Decker here. So he can see that in the next round, he is going to get his Siri, he's going to get his Heat Wave, and if he takes all of his mulligans, he's going to get Kelly as well. But he will miss a Nero and he will miss Defender. Is this the situation? I mean, do you take it or do you not? I'm not sure what Bart's done in this matchup, knowing that the Defender will be absolutely crucial. Maybe he's chosen to mix there. We can, of course, see the Purify. The Cupbearer is sat firmly in the hand, though, so that will go straight through the Defender. This is, very nice.
It's a tough matchup, right? It's a tough matchup. You never want to play against Lockdown when you are playing Kelly.
No.
But it was inevitable.
The only thing is now Kelly has round control almost for free, and we can see that he didn't, in fact, choose to shuffle the deck and has decided to draw those 3 guaranteed cards. The difficulty here, giving up round control by Cybers, his hand is phenomenal. And as a result, every one of those cards he plays now is a card he cannot play later because he doesn't have round control. And Bart, if he can push far enough, has a real chance to get through here. He has got the Solitary Bond for Ramon, and there you go. He mulligans away Masquerade Ball in the hope of finding, bizarrely, a worse card.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, he's perhaps prepping for a potential bleed here, and he doesn't want to go all in necessarily.
Yeah, that
Though
would
he
make
has
sense.
Roderick. He has Roderick.
Yeah. I mean, the Roderick he had only had Joachim to target, and I think he wanted to have multiple golds in deck in the effect that he needed to use them, because I'm pretty sure Bart has every gold in hand except for Joachim, and now Masquerade Ball. The Van Moorleheim's onto locking that just makes good sense. No Veil to protect it, of course, the joys of lockdown. Bart missing still quite a few cards. No Aneromancy still for Bart. No Defender either, no Eigen. But the beast does grow once.
At least. It's such a tough position. I don't know what I would do in Bart's position here. I mean, you'd like to go for a long round, but then again, there's more chance that DarkKevin actually drew all of his cards. And it's the locks that are the problem, really. It's all of those locks. And
I think
he
Bart
uses...
would be happy to see them. He wants the locks out now, right? Yeah, Ramon comes down, first lock. There's another one in hand, and now Bart knows that. That's the downside of that card. I know you have another one of these. So we know there's at least one more in hand.
Yeah, it's a great deterrent. So now your next card cannot be something that will be locked if you don't want it to be locked. Does he ever throw out Surrey? I mean, does he just pass, perhaps? He's on 7 cards, and it's clear that DarkKevin will likely catch up.
I think he wants the other lock.
Callie won't survive.
Yeah, I think he would much rather, because Siri, as amazing as a card as it is, you're playing on red coin, so you don't need to flip the coin. Siri effectively demands an answer. Failing to lock that Siri now would be absolutely crazy from DarkKevin, or at least dealing with it one way or another. So it literally makes you use a lock on it and gives you a better chance then of something like Keltulis surviving, potentially, because there's no movement in the list, I don't think, although there's plenty of poison, and of course Yen.
I would love to steal Surrey, but that might be a bit too impulsive. The problem here is he does have Purify, so if Kelly gets locked, it might not be enough. It depends how much locks is left, and of course Bart doesn't know.
No, exactly. I mean, Yenning is an interesting option, but no, he just takes the lock and just says, "Look, I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm just gonna play my cavalry." Now, if you're on Bart's side, all of your knowledge about the hand has gone away. You know no more. All you know is that all the locks you knew about are gone, and we've seen now there's one remaining, I believe. I think there's one Van Moorleheim's Hunter left, and in the deck there should also be another Armour Albert Cavalry, I think. So up to
I
2
believe
remaining.
so. Yeah. What do we do here?
Bart's got an interesting choice. He could use his Purify here, but and try and test the waters. Do you have another lock? If I Purify Ciri or I Purify Nithral now, am I in a situation? No, he just takes Parasite and boosts Nithral. Interesting.
Alright. Well, I guess you get the most value out of that, and you also tempt a removal like Yennefer's Invocation. So if Yennefer comes out, that gives you more chance that Osrel and Callie will survive.
Possibly. He could also choose to Purify it so that he effectively has the dominance and the power to do that. I guess you do expect to see that poison now, right? He's got another bronze card in hand. Do you just see the... It doesn't tempo ahead, though. That's the problem. The poison isn't enough points, and he can never give Cupbearer here.
Yeah, do you really value Nithral that much? If you could purify one thing, wouldn't it be potentially Callie or Ciri right now? Wouldn't that be the play? Because you're not necessarily getting ahead here. It's not looking good.
He takes the poison. It's slower, and it does give Bart the option here to get out. I don't think he does. I think he now takes the double Purify.
The Purify, yes.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just too good to play.
Makes sense. It makes sense, because not only does that deny potential poison, it also reopens a now dominant engine, which is pretty great. Although I think it's the only one of those that he run. So I don't think there's another Purify option now.
No,
Bart.
there is only one Nagelfast Taskmaster in this hand, so it's the only one he has.
He also
does have a D-bomb, though, which ironically is Veil.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could technically do that. That's a good point. He could D-bomb his own card to deny poison value at some point. That's very true.
Hey, you see strange things happening when it comes to high MMR. You never know. It's a possibility.
Yeah. And we're in a weird situation now, because if you look at the cards expended by Bart, they look better. This is a Brafton's play. But to expend those, you're now going to get through the really strong cards on the other side from DarkKevin. It's the reason I think we're still playing. Oh, takes the Purify. Thankfully, you're not forced to use that on a locked card, because that could have been very painful.
It would have been.
And he
luckily, that's not at all the case. He still gets some nice value there.
Yeah.
He's ahead now, so unfortunately Bart cannot simply pass. He could play Callie.
And he does play Kelly and starts burning. So now, do you have to answer this now, right? You have to kind of Yennefer here. Do you take away Kelly?
The 2-point card there. I would have killed the 2-point card so Callie could take out a bigger card. But it's fine. He would have gotten a similar value. There are 2 3-point cards on board right now.
Yeah, and they've both got an equal number of units anyway, so at the moment it's fine. Depends on if we choose to play a card now, or do we yen something. Because the problem is there's a 1-point unit on Bart's side, so yenning something from that side bigger will only result in that being burnt, which doesn't really help you. So all of a sudden it's a little scary. I think do you have to take that? I think you have to Yennefer it, right? And he does.
I mean, it's excellent control. That's why you have it. All right.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to do that.
Now, do we pass here? Seeing that we're actually ahead, do we ever pass here?
I mean, not having got Masquerade Ball out, not having access to Veil, the difficulty is all of the cards in hand aren't really going to trade for their maximum value, so this is quite scary. This is quite scary here.
I mean, we could always take a chance here and see what DarkKevin has left. We don't know what's in his hand. Perhaps we start bleeding. The thing is, our hand is quite good as well. So we're not going to be trading up. We might just be trading down if we commit here.
Yeah. I think it's difficult because Bart doesn't want to... Bart wants every one of the cards that's there, so he does want to get the value from this. Wow, okay.
I mean, big card right now, so Imlerith's Wrath is something he could be playing.
Instead, he takes the Osril, which is not what I expected at all there. That is not what I expected at all. Okay, but again, he's a decent number of points ahead. Usurper is enough points to simply swing that straight back, and knowing what's still left in the deck and what you've got access to, I mean, if you're DarkKevin here, do you push and do you drop it and say, hey, I'm going to take all 12 of these points and I'm going to put the pressure right back on you, friend? Is that the line you decide to take? Because in fact, I think it's 13 points for Usurper. Because Usurper is in stage 2, it wasn't a card that was in the starting hand and should then trigger the Assimilate on Brathens as well.
Does he ever commit that right now is the question. Is he willing to commit it right now? Because it's a very strong card in a short round too.
No, just takes an extra Purify, goes for it, says...
Is it Assimilate value? Very
double
nice.
Assimilate value, yeah, but not enough.
Yeah.
So he still gives him the pass. He still gives him the pass here. He could... Cupbearer is less important than it was now. Cupbearer was vital if the defender came down and you could get through certain things. But now that all of those things really are gone, you do give him a better target for that. Ooh.
Very nice. Very nice. The thing is, we don't necessarily get that sort of value in round 3, so using it now is excellent. And now we have to commit, but do we play the Cupbearer first for that Assimilate value is the question, because Bart might be going all in here, and we actually need every point we have.
I think this is quite scary here. He now can't trigger Masquerade Ball, because if he wanted it, he can't trigger it now. Clearly he doesn't. He intentionally shuffled it away, knowing he was going to get Heart Bled here, which makes sense. That's the right line from Bart. The difficulty is no card in his hand. He could Joachim into Roderick, but if he does that, he's almost guaranteed not to be able to proc his ball in the next round. So does he play a slow card like Cupbearer now, fake a poison, in the hope that he has a chance of getting a pass from Bart? Because I think that has to be the line. Otherwise, he's got to use 2 cards no matter what he does. Oof.
Faking a poison might be the way to go here.
Yeah.
Faking a poison could do it. That's exactly what he does.
Now, Bart has got the potential to keep Lassay and his Heatwave. His Heatwave is only trading for a 5 here. And another 2 points, of course, from Nithril. I think the pass. I think I like the pass there, because he's now still got to play a huge card here to get out.
Yes.
And the line from Bart was so good.
Quite a bit. He's committed quite a bit here. So we really need good cards in this next round. We need to hope for them. RNG is what we need.
And if you're Cybers right now, you've committed so much there, but the mulligan of the Masquerade Ball could be game-winning for him. I would never be brave enough to take seeing ball in hand, even knowing I'm going to get bled. I would still have gone, nah. I need to keep this card because it's very important. I would never have done that. From the others, oof.
Not a good hand. Okay. Get it.
Doesn't find Masquerade Ball, obviously has access to it, never takes it, so is going to take Joachim here. Kelly is just 9 points that you'd expect to see played on the back row. Bart finds a Nero with his last mulligan. Wow.
That could be game winning right there.
I think that could. I think that's huge.
Thank goodness.
I mean, do you wonder if you are Cybers, do you end up regretting mulliganing that Masquerade Ball? Even if you lose the game here, I don't think so. I still think it's the correct play, and he mulligans away Coup as well, which again I think is also the right play, knowing Bart's list. So I think if he doesn't, he has to commit the ball anyway. So
yeah, he wouldn't have gotten a lot of value out of Ball at that point because he wasn't prepared to commit that much round 2, but Bart went ahead and pushed him until that point. I mean, else we would have seen other cards come out earlier, even like Cupbearer, who had Assimilate. But that wasn't the case. So let's see, what are we playing now if we are DarkKevin? We don't play Kelly, that's for sure. You won't get much value unless we place it in the range row. I guess we go to Assimilate, right?
What's left in his deck? Because he has mulliganed Coup, but he has a Spy as well. So is he could have double played and pinged. He could have used his first Spy, played Masquerade Ball, used Coup to pull out the second one, and potentially high rolled the poison. And instead he took a 4-point engine.
Yeah, Bart is in a very good position here. And that defender is proving to be life-saving, to say the least.
And he's mulligan Coup back in as well, giving him another gold. Oh no. Oh. Yeah, so dropping the Coup, he takes it, he does it again, which is fine, I guess. And they are deployability, so technically an engine. It's weird to... The more I think about the Coup, the more I'm not sure it was right. I suppose he knows Heatwave exists, so double Joachim, it's always going to draw some removal. Does he go? There's no point going for Masquerade Ball, is there? Actually, Masquerade Ball's better.
Joachim gives 4 points of value. Depends on what you draw, right? Because if he
Yeah.
ends up heat waving Joachim's card, then he basically just gave him 6 points with Roderick as well as Joachim.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do with that. I mean, Masquerade Ball gave 4 points there. It would hardly have been worth it.
The only thing I'm thinking with Ball is +4, when in reality you know you're just giving him a big heatwave target, and effectively you've just given your opponent points. It's the only reason I might have taken Ball there, but he's got to play around. If you've got heatwave, I lose the game, I suppose. And that, I believe, is GG because there's 2 burns, but we have a pact, and Bart takes it. I mean, both players played that particularly well.
I agree. Bart did
1-0.
very well in the circumstances. And he actually takes it. Yeah, he takes it on Cali, which was an unfavourite matchup to begin with. Very, very good, Bart. Good game.
Very, very happy with that.
1-0 for Bart. Bart coming in with a Cali win. He doesn't have to play that again. He's now blue coin.
And we are now...
knowing him.
Nothing exciting in those kegs. Nothing exciting.
Come on, sheep.
We're hoping for a legendary in between one of these games, chat, okay? We're hoping for a legendary. And we're waiting for the next game now.
It's fine.
For the players list, ! Deck list does work. Both Square lists have been banned, so now Bart has also used Kelly. We are going in on the opposite coin now, which means Bart is going in on blue of his lists. I'm expecting him to take NR Witches in on blue, if I'm being honest. And then if you're DarkKevin, you've still got access to all 3. I mean, I like Lockdown on red, if I'm honest, but he chose to take it on blue, so...
Not against Witches. Not against Witches. It's an awful matchup normally. Witches takes it most of the time. Yeah,
and you're expecting that. What are you... So...
Do we ever have a mirror match regarding Northern Realm Witches? You probably never take Northern Realm Witches on red coin, though. You really do want that stratagem. You want the veil. I doubt it. It will be very
identical as well. The list, and they've got pretty much identical lists. You could do it, and it's going to be all about round control. Because even if you take it on red, if you can just deal with... So, for instance, you draw your Ansays, you deal with the Veiled unit, the end, all of a sudden you can tempo, win the round on even, win the game, if you take that line. The other option is your Ursine Warriors list, particularly strong in either matchup, if we're being completely honest. So, yeah, I don't expect to see Lockdown. Uprising is a maybe. I still prefer it on blue, but I could see if you draw well in a mirror, if you're looking to snipe the mirror. Of course, the other option for Bart here is not Devotion, but his SK list. He has played that on both red and blue. He has only taken NR Witches on blue. So I expect to see him take NR Witches here.
I could very well be. I'm trying to figure... I have accidentally misplaced one deck. Yes, I still have Tailbot's Lockdown. Why on earth?
Because Tailbot's Lockdown was amazing, that's why. Double Maddock Lockdown. It's a list that's actually been around longer than people realise. I remember, unironically, being in one of Spessie's streams, and he was screaming from the rooftops that Double Maddock was a great idea. And I'm sure he was Reed. Now, however... I feel justice is done, and Spessie will hopefully get the credit he deserves for that.
I do recall that. We have to give credit where credit is due. I recall Spessie playing that list. He quite experimented a bit when it came to Maddock.
There is definitely footage there. There's definitely footage somewhere on YouTube. These guys just picking what they want to take here, and they're probably taking a few minutes just mental break between the games as well. It's not so easy just to jam games constantly at this level. So I'd imagine they're just taking a few minutes, queuing in, and then saying, okay, I'm just going to take a break here, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes, I'm going to progress, and let that refresh, perhaps go and grab a drink, something like that. So I think that's what they're doing, but...
Yeah, I think they already know exactly what they need to play when they need to play it. These people play quite a bit. They know the exact matchups they need to win. They know exactly what to play and when to play it, when to push, when to pass. So I doubt they're still deciding. Like you said, I think they are well deserving of every break they get here. It's a very important series, this, and it determines quite a bit. You're very so close, yet so far if you lose this one.
And that's the thing. If you're down 2-0, there's always that I now need to reverse sweep. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen a lot, even in high-end tournaments. But you'd obviously rather get a win on the board here if you were Cybers right now.
Yes, certainly. Maybe we see a reverse sweep again. Maybe Bart takes the second one, and then DarkKevin comes in and wins all three.
Maybe,
It's
maybe.
possible. It's possible. Hey, he almost did it with Tailbot. It was almost a 3-0, wasn't
pulled
it?
back,
The
yeah, he pulled it back
came
to
in
level. And so here we go. I'd be stunned if Bart doesn't take Witcher's. And okay, it is the mirror. Okay, so DarkKevin's going to see if he can effectively push and say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. I'm also going to take NR. Interesting. And of course, the Griffin Witcher is in hand for Bart on blue. It's always in hand. I don't think I've ever missed it.
Oh, you'll know when you miss it. It's honestly horrible. It's horrible. I see Anzi's though. Anzi's will be getting play. Prince Anzi's coming in. Meve's favorite child.
Yes, it's understandable. Villain was the worst. Yes. Wow, that is a blingy Henselt on the other side. That is a blinged up King Henselt. And Bart does not need to think about this opening play. For on DarkKevin's side, he doesn't have access to the tool removal though. On the other side. So he can't answer this immediately. You can see here, his Ansei is firmly rooted somewhere in deck. Has no access to drawing it, so he just opens with the Griffin Witcher Adept engine. The potential engine, should I say.
I'm taking a look here, and the lists aren't exactly the same. When it comes to bronzes, there are a little bit of differences. So he's got Radovit's Royal Guards here in DarkKevin's list, but we have 2 Scythemen in Bart's list. We also have the card that will be giving a Veil, so he has a potential extra engine even.
Yes, that's true.
So there's a little bit of a difference, which could be could result in one winning the game and the other one losing, but let's see.
Makes sense. Okay, so we can see both players have developed the Griffin Witcher Adept engine, and from DarkKevin's side now, he's got the option of playing his Warfare card to start that ticking. Obviously, the constant engine and Veiled for Bart is particularly strong if this goes deep, and there's already carryover on DarkKevin's side instantly. So he's going to be quite happy. He's probably in the better situation right now, early on, even though he's behind on points. Do you just take a target practice here as you continue your engine? I mean,
surely, right?
It's probably what I would do, but that doesn't mean it's right. And that is what he chooses to do. There you go. And back, the ball is now in Bart's court here. I don't see him going anywhere. He doesn't have Erland though. He's got Vest, but of course that does have an Adrenaline keyword, so it can't be played for another turn or 2 yet. So now, if you are Bart, it's level on even. Obviously, he's not looking to pass here, I don't think. I'd be surprised with no carryover developed. But he's got a very gold-looking hand. Is he going to play his first Amphibious Assault here, maybe?
Well, the problem is Squirrel.
Does Squirrel exist?
There's not a Squirrel in this.
There should be no. I was going to say open deck list. So
none are running Squirrels.
No. So, and DarkKevin says, "Cool. I'm not going to fight for you in this round. See you later. Thank you very much for playing."
Well,
Interesting from Bart. Interesting
so we
from
get
Bart
that nice carryover from Vesemir on Adrenaline 5. Very nice to see at least. The problem is there's no Yerd in these sort of matchups, not in the qualifiers. So having lost say isn't that important. It simply isn't. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I would be very impressed if DarkKevin takes this on red. I would be seriously impressed.
And there's no way. I mean, he played the extra card, but he didn't need to get the extra carryover. So all of the carryover is now completely developed if you are Bart on blue, but only one set of the carryover, because I'm pretty sure both of them have actually played Erland. Now I think about it, yeah, and he just takes the straight pass and says, cool, let's go long round v long round. I have more carryover than you do.
So we play that first Radovit's Royal Guard.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So Bart has managed to develop all of his carryover, which is really nice, but we can't. So DarkKevin can't just drop Vesemir here, because Vesemir doesn't do the same thing. So he is going to potentially lose 4 or 5 points of value on that card if he can't get value the other side. That's going to be really interesting.
I like the fact that both are also running Margarita, so Calder might get locked, but including Fortune Teller into this deck could that potentially save Calder? The thing is, Calder just gets locked immediately, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if not, both players have got Ansays, and I'd be very surprised if they don't. If you've got no other option, leaving Kelder running is incredibly silly. I completely undervalued that card when it was revealed. I honestly was like, this card's just a boat. Why are we running this? Nope, the Witcher synergy is phenomenal. That card hard carries part of this list.
I was very excited when it was released, especially with Cohen, but then I realized to my detriment that Visigoth of Corvo simply wasn't viable anymore with all the control and movement. But it was so fun playing at the start of the expansion when nobody was expecting Cohen to come out.
DarkKevin finds the Geralt with the last mulligan. That's pretty nice there. Double Scytheman in Bart's hand, both of which have the potential to trade for a lot of points, but also awkward sequencing-wise, because he's got Ansays, which he doesn't want to play particularly, the Witcher trio, which he can't play, Kelder, which he can't play, Leo, which he doesn't want to play. So Bart's hand actually looking a little awkward here. And DarkKevin can just drop an Amphibious Assault straight off the bat. And what does he choose? A nice little engine to tick for a while.
Of course. Of course. We do like our Griffin Witches in this matchup.
Definitely.
Now, do we ever get rid of this immediately?
No.
How many engines are there that we want to deal with? There's Calder, that needs to go.
Yeah.
And Anzi's doesn't need to go. You never leave Anzi's on the board, ever. You always use with Zeal. And we don't have Varax's King, so it's not like Anzi's will be used again.
And now we have Griffin Witchers everywhere. It's Griffin Witcher versus Griffin Witcher. And, okay, so we do take the decision here. Because Margarita exists, DarkKevin has decided, you know what? I'm going to take you out here. Interesting, he's going to have to use a lot of boosts to make that viable, though. Because if he hits it right now, he hits it for 5. There's no shield, remember? Every time I use Ansay's Duel, my head goes, oh, cool, it's got a shield. Of course, this is not shield wall, so you're going to have to give that at least a leader charge, maybe 2. You can still remove it. You drop down to 3 points if he chooses to do it like this.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. It's going to hit it with 6.
And I
expect remaining. It's 6 or 3, and it's dead. He's just making extra sure he's got the calculations right, which he does, and he gets rid of it. That's exactly what I thought would happen, but will we see Bart doing the same is the question.
Maybe. I'd have much preferred to use something like a Margarita on that, to be honest, and then have Ansays for Kelder. But no, they're both going down this line, so okay. We see a buff. Is that enough? Hits for 5, hits for 3, hits for 2, hits for 1. So it is just enough, but does Bart choose to give it another ping so he hasn't just got a random 1-point unit? I think that's okay.
I don't think it matters that much. I don't think it matters too much.
Okay.
They're still making extra sure they don't somehow screw this up.
It's very important. And now we have two Prince Ansays on the board. Both nice and premium. You love to see it. In fact, an impressive amount of premium cards between these two players. Very respectable. You love to see it. You love to see it. Definitely want to see those premiums flexed by them here.
Oh yes, certainly. They are expensive. And one day, chat.
One day. So we get the Quen now. Anything you can do, I can do. I'm going to play another one. Are we going to see a literal mirroring? There isn't another one on the other side, though. So, now if you're Bart, what line are you taking here? You can't kill that because it's boosted just out of range, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult spot here. You can't play your Witcher trio yet. Calder dies. Well, it gets locked. Okay, so you put your Griffin Witcher Adept on the board, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Though it doesn't really find a value at the moment. But hey, you have to get it on there sooner or later, I guess.
Yeah, and it's plus 1 point on Geralt anyway. It denies boosted value, but at the same time, it just keeps the engine moving. So I can see why you'd do that. No more damage, though. So what do we go
now as DarkKevin? Do we... Okay.
You never lock that unless you're not worried about Kelder, and you are worried about Kelder. So...
Of course.
On the other side... For DarkKevin, the issue is... and he'll always drop Vesemir before he drops his Kelder.
Wow.
Are we just leaving that? I mean, you can afford to just leave that. You know there's no removal. Unless we Margarita, which I don't think we ever do.
That would be funny to see, though. I was thinking he might go for the lock, and he hopes Griffin Witcher just survives. So that's one ping for Calder, and then you have Boiling Oil, which totally gets rid of Calder in one turn. So potentially he could well have done that.
He could have done. This is a really interesting line to leave that. Do you ever Margarita that? Because then the Kelders both get through. That's kind of scary. We can only hit her for 5 because we only have Boiling Oil, so we cannot deal with her.
I mean,
And we do Margarita the Margarita. Okay.
Okay. Well, now both Calders survive.
Now,
Interesting.
the only reason... Because at the
Well,
moment,
not necessarily, actually.
DarkKevin's is 4 with 1 armor, but Vesemir will boost that, I believe. So, because when we drop it for Adrenaline, it's all on board, hand, and deck. So, it should be fine. It should protect that, and in theory, I mean, Bart's in a really good spot here.
Ironically, Calder dies in every player's turn, so they can easily... Well, okay, DarkKevin kills our Calder with 1 ping from the Griffin Witcher as well as Boiling Oil, takes it out. And luckily, his Calder is on 5, a 4 and 1 armor, so we just need Boiling Oil. So even though we don't have a Griffin Witcher, we take it out as well. Calder never survives, unless one of them commits something too early, which I doubt. I very much doubt it.
I'm really surprised. He's going to... Obviously, he'll boost the leader and do that because Kelder has to survive. Kelder is the only way you win the series here. Interesting that he's chosen to do that, and it's not even available yet.
Yeah, well, perhaps he wants to use Boiling Oil so he gets that Warfare extra Witcher student, because obviously it triggers Calder, so you'll have 2 students coming out then on the next round if he chooses to play Boiling Oil. But yeah, okay, so Calder is safe now, luckily they are paying attention.
Okay. I mean, it's too early to drop every card in Bart's hand. He doesn't want to play any of these cards because they're all suboptimal. So he literally is just going to drop the Boiling Oil there. Okay. I think that Griffin Witcher, it cannot be answered. Bart cannot answer that Griffin Witcher, and I think that's game winning. Simply because that survives. I think it's huge. Oof. And there we find, there you go, yeah, there is the double value. Resupply is incredible in that series there. So both of their Kelders will now go through, but neither of them have the engine value to improve.
That resupply value was quite nice there. That actually adds up in the end. This is interesting because Bart hasn't yet used his leader, so there's hidden potential there. And also the fact that DarkKevin committed leader so early could be a big difference here. Merely because we might get more value with our leader. We'll have more targets on the board with that are boosted. So our Scytheman will be a lot bigger. This is going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
I think this is quite scary because he's playing Vesemir effectively as almost like an Isengrim in Elves. There are so many points, and he's also, like, DarkKevin is hugely ahead here. There are a lot of points in Witchers. You can literally drop masses of points. Now we're completely level. Oh my.
This is scary. This is very scary. Okay, well, Vesemir is... Oof. Vesemir boosts every card.
No, every Witcher. Every Witcher. Yeah. That's massive. I think DarkKevin takes this. I think Bart loses. I think Bart loses here.
1 point for every boosted card. But now, DarkKevin's Scytheman is going to get more points because so many...
Oh, Witcher mirrors are insane. I'm pretty sure here that this is a DarkKevin win, provided he plays that front row and not back row, so he doesn't block the spawn from Kelder, which of course he doesn't, because he wouldn't make that mistake like I would. And it's so close, but in the long round, going first and having that Griffin Witcher made all the difference. Keeping Kelder alive, completely worth it. 1-1.
I am so incredibly impressed. He won on red. He wasn't favored. He still won, and he passed so early that round 1. He didn't need to have
we have a keg. Control. Oh, it's a disappointing keg.
Oh, is it? Wow, that was really, really fun to see. Okay, so it's Bart 1 with Callie, and then we have DarkKevin coming in with 1 in a mirror match.
Yeah.
So he cannot play that deck again. It's now out. Northern Realms won't be seen by DarkKevin. Bart, on the other hand, can take it.
Yeah.
He won't now, as he is on
Now,
red coin.
we saw DarkKevin Q lockdown Soldier Ball last time, so in terms of on his last attempt at blue coin. So do we expect him to do the same thing again here, or does he take his remaining list, which I believe is Ursine Warriors? He seems to prefer it on blue. The lockdown Soldier Ball list, he's played it on blue every time. He seems pretty content that that's where he wants to play it. This may be his last shot on blue if he wins all 3 of these games. So I think he takes lockdown here.
You think so?
I think so. I think he'd take lockdown Soldier Ball based on how he's played through the tournament, based on the success he's had with it going from blue. And it's weird because in my head I would normally choose to take that on the other coin. But clearly he's considerably better at the game than I am. But yes, so he's been playing that all the way through. He's had great success with it. So I think I'd be surprised if that's not what he takes here. The question for Bart is, does he now think, okay, NR Witches did pretty well on red? I doubt it. I'm pretty sure he is confident with NR Witches on blue and will feel more confident going in on blue in the following game, which basically means Bart should be queuing Ursine Warriors here.
Well, what I'm thinking here is Kevin just won a mirror match, and he might be thinking, well, I'm going to play Scalago Warriors and beat you at your own game again. I think that might be a possibility. He also has blue coins, so he will... he's using tactical advantage. That's interesting. While we have crystals... it is Bart who's using tactical advantage, and it is DarkKevin who's using Crystal Skull as the stratagem in the Scalago Warriors.
Oh,
Scalago Warriors.
Okay, that's fine.
Interesting. Well, some people don't want Veil on their cards. They much prefer that one extra point you get with tactical advantage.
Yeah, and in some ways that makes sense.
Yeah, but hey, to each his own.
Yeah,
I wonder,
depends on
perhaps
what you're
they're
boosting,
actually
right?
considering this.
Yeah, it depends
Maybe
on
they're
what
not
you're
taking
boosting.
a break. Yeah, definitely.
They tend to take the first 5 minutes of each of these timers, just, again, I'm guessing, to get up, even if they don't need a drink, just to stretch their legs. It makes sense, especially at the very high end of the game. That last matchup was so intense. The card ordering in that final round was really, really interesting from each of the players. You're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, so from DarkKevin's point of view, he's playing his leader so early in that round, and you're thinking you could get much more value, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Playing that won him the game there. It was huge to guarantee Kelder coming out. He managed to play his Margarita, to bait out another Margarita, get that lock, and as a result, it was basically sort of like an old western where it's who's going to go first, and he played it so well, and I loved that. I really did. But each one of those card decisions, one card being played in a different order, changes that entire matchup. It's so much fun watching the high end of this game.
Yeah, I picture it now, like the 2 margaritas with their guns in the holsters and a old spaghetti western. We can turn around first and lock the other one. It was very interesting to see. I love it when the cards cancel each other out, and they're very much willing to do it too. The fact that he didn't use his margarita, so interesting. Yeah. And it was DarkKevin who baited the margarita. It was him, and he might have wanted his color to survive longer. I don't know what went on in his head, but it would be a brilliant master plan. He didn't use margarita, he just threw it out there as if he wanted margarita to be used by Bart. I'm sure...
100%. He 100% wanted that, yes. And that's why, like, that line's incredible, because he knows from the deck lists there is nothing he can do to deal with this that isn't his own margarita. But now mine's on board, he cannot play certain cards because he knows I can answer it. It's fantastic play, and it's weird. In the mirror, when playing first is better. So on blue coin, generally you feel, okay, I'm favoured. The problem with that is, unless you push for a 2-0, generally speaking, of course, you go second in round 3, and if it's a long round, that can really be a problem. So it's a really tough mirror.
Exactly. Normally last say is very important, but we found often that, especially with Shield Wall, it was more important to get your cards on the board first. You want your defender, you want Corvo, you want Anzies, and you want them first so you have that control. And we saw something similar here, and because of that, it's clear that Kevin took the game. But okay, here we see Bart taking Scalago Warriors, and we have a lockdown coming from Kevin. Now, actually Warriors do very, very well against lockdown. So this will be an interesting matchup. But this isn't the sort of lockdown list I normally see.
I was
So
going to say, Soldier Ball,
yeah,
provided you draw your cards and you can play well, thin well, Soldier Ball's a really scary list if it gets round control. It doesn't really matter what it's playing against. If it can get round control, it can be really good. He's got a decent number of proactive plays, found some. He's found Ramon in hand on, again, the talent level. I missed that card. I am convinced whenever I run it, it does not exist. So, to find Ramon and also have the Armoured Cavalry as well is fantastic talent there from DarkKevin. You love to see it. It means that he now has access to all of the locks that he wants. Instead, plays that interesting. So now he either has a... He has no target for this in hand now, right? So he doesn't want to use Ramon.
no, but Brothen's looks nice. Aha.
Yeah, Brothen's will be really nice here, but I'm interested... That Ramon now is effectively no good. I believe that's a brick now?
That's
because it's
interesting.
soldiers only, right?
He did the same thing in the previous game. He played his Nausicaa Sergeant without Ramon, but he used Ramon with the melee lock.
No, that makes sense.
But not
I can see that. And I guess he's going on the assumption I'm going to find value here. Oh.
Okay, so we are more set on getting a bronze warrior. That's
Makes
fine.
sense. It plays for the additional carryover effectively. Having those in graveyard is never a terrible thing, and the Brockvar Hunter's such a great engine right now.
It's a nice engine for sure. It's very nice.
And we get the thinning because of all the statuses. That's amazing for DarkKevin. If you can get one of your two thinning engines out in round one, you're pretty happy there. Or thinning cards rather, not engines.
Yeah, the hunting pack is always great to get out. Also Imperial Brigades, but he doesn't have that right now. Alright, it's interesting that Bart didn't go for a potential Ceres there. He could have gotten it out potentially with his own Uncrate Raider. Uncrate Raider could ping himself as well as the Brockvar Hunter, but perhaps he wants Ceres on a different round. It would be a nice blink too, for sure.
Bart just says, I'm getting out of here, I've played what I want for carryover. Interesting. If that had been progressed or pushed further, both players have got hands that they don't really want to play here. Bart's plays and his options were too slow to keep going or too committal. But from DarkKevin's side, he will be sat there thinking, I am so grateful that that's gone because I have lots of cards and I don't want to play any of them.
Oh, we actually draw Ceres. Very nice. Let's hope we don't break into a Shield Maiden then.
Okay, so that's drawn. Oh, and there you go. Do we get the push now? Do you push here? So Bart has managed to brick on his final draw. He's greeded and has been punished. On the side of DarkKevin now, he's managed to get ball. He did mulligan away Masquerade Ball in the last matchup we saw with this, but that's because he knew he was being bled rather than he was bleeding.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So he didn't want that to come out.
So the Shield Maiden sat there.
You don't want to see that. Of course, you can always play the Drum and Shield Maiden in the melee row, ping it, and then play Ceres in the range row, actually, and then you have a little engine going there with the Brockvar Hunter. It's a potential thing people do, and it's a very nice engine, but of course, with all these locks, the chances that that will happen is not very likely.
No, but he just drops a lock as if it's nothing. So he's thrown one of the locks away here just to say, I'm going to get rid of this card. Be interesting to see where he pushes from here, because he does have a proactive play, but then he would have bricked his Ramon again. So is he going to keep going here? He's got 3 golds in deck, and both of the spies, notably. So he can't coup them out in a chain. He can't single cycle that Masquerade Ball right now. Oh, nice. And we're down at 7 cards here. That's really scary. He has now put an Uncrate Raider in his own graveyard, which means if he can find a way to steal that Herald, he now has a target for it, which is just fantastic for him. Yeah, big time.
He knows exactly what he just did. So if he gets to Yennefer Herald, he can just play that with Roderick or Joachim, and he is set from there with his own Herald engine.
That Jenga is a big commitment for me. The only lock that he has access to, and with things like Masquerade Ball, you know that's going to go through, and you know there's going to be some value sat there. That Dame potentially going to go nice and high. because there isn't really a risk of playing ball early, other than triggering it earlier than you want to. And some amazing draws from DarkKevin there. He's managed to find the spy, but not many locks.
Well, I don't know. I feel so bad when he just throws away locks like that. I just want as many locks as I can get my hands on.
They're not valuable in this matchup, though, right? Skellige is I play points.
They aren't.
So it makes sense to remove them. Normally, if you're locked down, those locks are incredibly valuable. But really, you're not locking a great deal in this matchup, right? And he mulligans the Usurper away there. And oh, okay. So Bart is going to drop that, and he is basically saying, "Do you have an answer? Yes or no?"
That is a very interesting, to say the least.
Because he's got
extremely interesting.
Hasn't really got any notable self damage. He's going to have to self damage this. He's going to have to use Herrenkaduch in order to ping with the it's not the blacksmith, so that he can ping it himself if it doesn't get removed straight away. That's going to be really interesting.
Are you talking about the quartermaster?
That's the one, quartermaster. They look like blacksmiths to me. It's close enough. Quartermaster.
Definitely. It's just the play on where it's seen that he doesn't have all his limbs.
Yes.
That's okay, so how do we start off here? Do we ever start off with our artifacts?
But yeah, you drop Masquerade Ball, so we're not going to deal with removing that. I suppose the only option to prevent that thinning would have been to Yen, and that's really not a great target for a Yen. There are no locks in hand, and if there were for DarkKevin, he'd have been very happy there, because he could easily lock that Shield Maiden and be really, really pleased.
Certainly. I wonder if he is happy with his choice of throwing that Van Moorlem Hunter away now.
Skjordal Drummond comes down, answers the engine before it grows too tall. Really nice. Obviously, the veteran ability of that means it plays for a 10. 5 points removal with 5 body is actually really nice as a card and can be incredibly powerful to deny such a strong engine.
Certainly, and we got it in his final form, which is always very nice to see. So, okay, we didn't draw Harold though, so we need to get it out with the Blood Eagle.
Are you ever going to get a target here? If you're Bart, Blood Eagle is going to be really tough because you need to find value and you need to damage. I mean, he's got access to... Yeah, he can pull out... Yeah, he should be fine here. Blue Boy just being dropped. But again, no way to damage it. It feels terrible. For Bart, that's the joys of lockdown. It's one of the things it does, and if you greed and it doesn't pull out, you're in trouble. I can see War of Clans on the other side, though. Bart can use War of Clans and pull out one of the Brockvar Hunters from his graveyard, I suppose. And he might choose to do that now, so that he then has got that engine he can ping and he can thin.
Yeah, and meanwhile DarkKevin is setting up his Assimilate engines, which will add up eventually.
And that also now creates a 2-point card that, if there is no additional Assimilate, will allow the Blood Eagle to transfer through, and Bart will be able to get his Herald on the other side. But there's... SK Warriors goes nice and wide now, and it's wide with white points, but there's a lot of value in this Masquerade Ball sat on the other side. You have got both spies, potentially double... Joachim is probably the line you end up taking, because you know one of them is going to be answered by Morkvarg, but they both can't be. Wow. This is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, I'm more troubled about the Assimilate engines adding up, because they are adding up, and we still have things like Brothens, we still have Cupbearer, we have Cut the Grass, as it is now known. We have the Artifact, which is going to give some nice Assimilate value as well when those poisons come out.
Now,
so those are going to add up significantly.
That's really interesting. He's taken that line there and he's decided, you know what, I'm going to remove that card. And he's got rid of Blue Boy. I was wondering, would he go down the line of using the 2 Assimilate engines to damage and remove the Brockvar Hunter, because it's probably the only damage available. But instead, he just flat out takes out Blue Boy with poison, single cycles, bang, bang, bang. Very interesting. Nice line.
I wonder what he's keeping it for, though. What is he waiting for? And maybe he's waiting for the location to come out.
Maybe. The threat of it alone is enough. The fact that it's there, he knows there's no need to just drop it when he may need it later. To remove that engine might be valuable, and I suppose it depends on how much it trades for as to whether it's worth it. And he might be worried about things like the Gremist as well, because at the moment a 6-point body can come down and he can still coup a card if he really needs to. So it might be on that line that he's going. That ship's gonna be a pain though.
It's a bit of a pain. It's a bit of a pain.
And of course, he has got the answer. He can always... That Thrigvi is going to trade for its own body, because we have Cupbearer sat in hand, ready and waiting for the Purify. It's one of the reasons why this is a tough matchup.
Don't we always just Brothans here and get our own little ship?
We do one better. We decide that we...
Interesting.
So, DarkKevin has last say here, which means his assimilate engines are already going to grow pretty tall as it stands, but they're not going to get much taller. He could wait now with Joachim and not give value to that Morkvarg, or give less value to that Morkvarg and play it as last say, meaning that coup to deny the ship was probably more points over the course of the game. That's actually a really nice line.
Does make sense. It makes sense. Yeah, that's a problem, right? Because you do still have Morkvarg in hand. Interestingly enough, he still hasn't played Harold.
I love this line.
I think he doesn't want Yennefer to steal it, because it's very dangerous.
It's very risky. That's a really nice line there. He's managed to completely ruin Hernkaduk. He has managed to block one side of the heel, spawn the card, and kill the card on the other side. That's a really, really good swing there from DarkKevin. And you can see Blood Eagle. He can use the Blood Eagle, but the yen risk is just terrifying. But I think at this point he has to go for it, right? Because if he doesn't, he just loses, I think. Oh, and that last say Harold from the yen. Oh my, this is going to be... You'd expect to see it yend, and it's going to be so many points. I cannot see past DarkKevin going 2-1 up here with the hand position that we're in. Wow, really nicely played going into this round.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it? Just like that. That was the plan. He was waiting for that trigger to hit.
And here comes Theabeasty. We're going to drop that, and of course, Cupbearer is going to drop down that interesting gentleman that he is, and will purify that straight off. Yeah, really, really well played here from DarkKevin. Has read the matchup really well, and it's one of the things. Obviously, this is effectively two lists you play quite a lot on ladder, and as a result, matchups you know quite well. Tailbot's lists probably not ones you've played a lot against on ladder, for instance. But DarkKevin or Cybers will know this matchup inside out and is playing it absolutely perfectly here. I'd be really surprised. There's still a decent number of points in Bart's hand, but I genuinely think this is probably game... and game 3 goes to DarkKevin, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It does. It's just, there's far too many points he's going to be getting with Harold. He gets that card out of the graveyard. He gets assimilate value, which is going to be significant because he has so many assimilate cards on the board right now.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. He takes this one. He takes it.
And so well played. He's played this matchup so smoothly. Really nice. And it goes to 2-1, I believe. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't end up 2-1 here. And we go... Yeah. There we go. Here is the Harold, and he even has a target because he prepped that in the fake bleed. Superb play. 2-1, and now Bart from 1-0 up. It's 2-1 down. Cybers needs just one more game here. Just one more.
Not even close, chat. Not even close. This was really well played.
74 points from Lockdown Ball.
Right.
Whoa.
If left unchecked, assimilate is so dangerous, especially if you have someone who knows exactly what they're doing. They know what cards are in different factions. They know how to use those cards optimally, and that's where assimilate becomes deadly.
Another bad keg.
Oh no, shoot.
Another bad keg. Shoot, come on.
Come on.
Come on. But yeah, no, that the line's there. To get so many points in a long round in Lockdown Ball against a very strong metalist. He obviously knows that matchup so well and played it absolutely perfectly. Incredible. He also drew very well, but that's not, that's just one of those things. The actual matchup was great. Played really well, pushed and won the rounds when he should. Now we're going into game 4 of this series. So game 4 of the series now. We know DarkKevin has to take Ursine Warriors, right?
Yes. So that's all he has left is Ursine Warriors now. But Bart has the choice of going with Uprising again or going with Warriors himself, which would be a mirror match, and he knows it. So does he ever do that?
I mean, normally he likes NR. He likes NR Witches on blue, which I understand. But I don't think I want to play NR Witches against SK. I think I'd rather do it the other way around.
SK has a lot of control, and that's where the problem comes in. Control is never fun when it comes to Northern Realms in any way.
I mean,
But then again, honestly, with players like these, it could go either way. It could honestly go either way, and it's draw dependent as well. You might not get the cards you need right away.
it's all about the coin that that basically Bart wants now, and this is the difficulty. When you're trying to get through, he gets to pick which one do I want on red, which one do I want on blue. He knows exactly what he's queuing into and exactly the deck list, which is why weirdly, even though he's behind, you could argue it might be an advantage. Normally, no question, NR Witcher's in on blue. But will he be thinking, I would rather play the mirror on blue because I get to develop my engines and I think I'm comfortable doing that, and I think I can get NR Witchers through on red better. I don't know. For me, I would just instantly, there would have been no thought, it would have been bang, NR Witchers. Because I know how good NR Witchers is on blue. And he's played that every time. So maybe he just plays NR Witchers here.
Yeah, again, it's not about what's going to win the next match. It's what's going to win the next two matches. Which one is going to be worse on red coin, which is going to be better on red coin. So he now needs to decide which one he chooses. And like you said, I would also just impulsively go for Uprising because you get that very nice little stratagem on blue coin. Let's see, if he did choose Urson Ritual on blue coin, he'd get tactical advantage. I mean, there's not much of a benefit of being on blue coin when it comes to Urson Ritual. I can't imagine it being game-breaking, whereas you have a very nice little engine in Northern Realms. Very nice. And it doesn't get removed that easily, which is also a pro. It's not just that extra 3 points that go off every round when it hits a certain adrenaline, that is a 3. You are also protected, which is very necessary.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Maybe we're overthinking this once again, and he just Uprising, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
Quite possibly. And again, as is typical, usually I'd imagine there'll be another couple of minutes while they just refresh themselves from the game that's gone. Certainly makes sense. It certainly makes sense. So, okay. Yeah, so the lists, the Ursine Warriors lists, I believe they're both almost identical. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're both very, very similar lists, right?
I'll take a look. I think they might be identical, yeah.
Yeah. It's a list that Is there any difference down in the bronzes, or...?
There is. Okay, so Bart has an Uncrate Marauder, so does, man, I just want to say Cybers all the time.
Just say Cybers, it's easier. I blame Gravesh for this. Why? I need to know the backstory. If anybody in chat knows the backstory, all I've heard is that it's Gravesh's fault. I know no more than this. That's just all I've heard. So if anyone knows the backstory to why Cybers is now actually called DarkKevin with a MySpace style name, I would love to know. Because that's all I've heard. I've been told that it's Gravesh's fault. So if anyone does know... And yeah, Gravesh has changed his name as well. So maybe this is just a bet between them or something. I don't know. If Gravesh is genuinely just headbutt play right now, oh my lord. Gotta love it.
Well, where were we? So we've got the we've got two Brockbar Hunters on Bart's side. Yeah. We also have 2 on the side of DarkKevin, also known as Cybers. But he has a Uncrate Warrior, which Bart doesn't have. Very random. And also he has 1 Gutting Slash, where Bart has 2 Gutting Slashes. So it's the little thing, but it's still some control that DarkKevin lacks. So Bart has 2 Gutting Slashes, you need to look out for that, whereas he opted for an Uncrate Warrior. Perhaps it's to get more potential value for War of Clans.
I think so. I think that makes sense. I love War of Clans as a card. I hated War of Clans early on. I thought the card was awful. And then, as it came in, it started to see more play. Some of the options, especially as instant removal, like in War of Clans, to pull something like that card out, bang, another 3 points of damage. It's really nice engine removal. So I quite like the deck, actually.
Yeah, and then again, I'm trying to... The differences are there, but it's very small. So instead of having 2 Gutting Slashes, DarkKevin has Stunning Blow, but he doesn't have a Griffin Witcher.
Ooh.
No, not a Bear Witcher, sorry. But Bart does have a Bear Witcher, which obviously goes very nicely with Hiron Kadoosh, because you get a nice value there if you place it next to it and use the order ability.
And it's a mirror. I think the Stunning Blow is interesting, actually, and I think that goes towards part of the Kelly targeting. Stunning Blow can deal with 5 and the Phantom in a single blow, So I think part of that may well be, and it sounds silly for such a little thing, but it makes that matchup slightly more favourable. It might just be that, but I don't know. Either way, we are now into a mirror. It is Ursine Warriors v Ursine Warriors, and if you have played anywhere near ladder this season, I'm sure you have played this matchup yourself, but will you have played it anywhere near as well? The matchups are very similar. Both of them, Morkvarg's going to find not a lot of value here, though. This matchup, Morkvarg, the best value it's going to find is whatever's boosted right here, usually.
Yeah, you're not finding a lot of value. Like you said, I'd be shuffling that away, but obviously they are shuffling away less favorable cards. I saw there was a shield-mated brick there with DarkKevin. He got that out, which is good. None of them have Ceres, so they're going to have to pull it out with Blood Eagle. Luckily, DarkKevin has Fabiorn, so he can get Blood Eagle out if need be. Doesn't boost the Longship.
And I think that's because he knows it gives value to Morkvarg. I genuinely think... And also, there's only one removal card that guarantees to get rid of that in one turn. So I think he's going to have to either set up removal, which is what he's trying to do here instead. And I quite like that from Bart. My instant response would have been, I'm just going to drop this. But you're just playing into your opponent's chance to get points, right?
Of course. They're not just thinking about this round. They're thinking about the second and the potential third round. They are making many tactical decisions here.
Okay.
So we got that Marauder there.
And values the Brock Hunter over it anyway. Now this is the only Morkvarg value you're going to find here. In this, nothing else really goes green. So I'd imagine at some point you will see that, or does he just bleed it? No, he bleeds the ship. Okay, that's fine.
No, you might as well use Morkvarg. You're not going to get better value, like you said. Otherwise, you just throw it away. You don't throw it away necessarily, but it's the most value you're going to get. And perhaps you can win round one and even here, which is great for you.
Very much so. Very much so.
I'm interested to see when Jenga comes out, because they'll be keeping that for the right time.
Yeah, there aren't many lock targets in this matchup. A lot of the time, like, if you can lock a blue boy, you're quite happy. Ooh, now what are you going for here? Are you thinning with Ceres early? No, you're just playing for carryover. Nice. A lot of the time, it's easy to overcommit in this match, and you can just drop Ceres because I'm desperate to get ahead. But actually, the amount of points that presents later, we're all used to playing Ceres twice because lippy things, but you don't now, and losing that is huge. And again, this is pretty much just, I'm setting up my graveyard, I'm going away, see you later, from Bart, wanting the long round.
Makes sense. This is going to be extremely interesting. What does DarkKevin throw away here? Well, he could throw Morkvarg away.
Yeah, I mean, Morkvarg is enough points to get him ahead, I think. So Morkvarg
He's not going to find value like that again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think this is the Morkvarg. At least it could be the Morkvarg for me. I think there might be a ping in the casted Discord. I'm not sure if you could just check it for me. I might be wrong, but I think I've got a new ping, so it's probably there if it's anywhere. But if not, don't worry. I've just realised.
Repic had a small crash. While waiting for the game, and there's a second plan for Say, but use my link with the last game will start for you. It will be about 5 minutes pause. Okay, just give me 2 seconds.
Okay, let you deal with that. And we do see that, it makes sense. The ping coming back across the other side, but the Morkvarg is more than enough there for DarkKevin to take it, and it's the most value you're going to get. Normally, having to drop a Morkvarg in round one in a lot of matchups doesn't feel amazing. But in this situation, honestly, it kind of does. It's a pretty great situation to be in because you know it's the only value you're going to get. SK Warriors plays around green points and as a result that kind of damage very well. So it makes sense to get rid of that. I wouldn't even be surprised to see that removed. And we go into the mulligan phase here now. Both players with particularly strong hands. SK is one of those weird lists where obviously it pays the veteran tax quite hard in round one. It's why you will see SK get out quite quickly in round one very frequently. And why pushes aren't necessarily the most common thing. And there you go, you see Morkvarg being mulliganed away and finds Harold. Wow, very, very nice there. You'd be quite happy with that.
And the 10 seconds I just missed, is Ceres still unplayed in both hands?
It is indeed. Ceres is in Bart's hand, but has been missed by DarkKevin. So from DarkKevin's side, no access to it either, actually, which feels... Oh, no, you can get Blood Eagle from Vabiorn, it's fine. So you could Blood Eagle Vabiorn into getting Ceres if you really wanted to. That's definitely an option. I mean, do both players play a few cards and just try and go away here? Or do you simply just pass and say, hey, long round, let's go? Hands are awkward. If you're on DarkKevin's side, if you are dropping a card, it's the boat here, really. You don't want to do that, right? Unless you're pushing in here. Do you want to play this boat? You do? Okay, good to know.
Well, there it goes.
That's the choice.
It's always fun having it on the board.
There is
it always prompts for a bit of removal.
Yeah, it's also the first boat, now I think about it. So, with it being the first boat, Blood Eagle in hand, you could choose to thin again here. Whether you want to go down that line or not, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure how far you bleed here.
It could also depend on what your opponent has drawn. So you could take that chance and think, well, my hand is absolutely great. Perhaps he didn't get as much value. The problem is tutors do exist, and it is quite possible to get the cards you need. So
it's risky bleeding. It's risky bleeding when you're potentially bleeding yourself, right? The hands are very, very similar here. So I'm not sure how much more value you get if you're risking giving up last say. And that's something right now that I guess DarkKevin is trying to work out. Do I just keep playing here? Do I thin so I can guarantee there's a better chance of getting my good golds? Do I play my raiding fleet? And I think that's probably why, if you are on Bart's side now, you're looking at this going, every card I play is -2 if we keep pushing here. And from DarkKevin's side, I've thinned my deck a little bit. I'm missing more of my high-end golds. We see no Herald. I see no Blood Eagle. I see no Ceres. So the thinning, even though I lose the boat in a long round, potentially, I have a better chance at drawing my good cards.
Yeah, so it's a nice thinning mechanism, the raiding fleet. But also, you don't just want to pass here on 7. It's just too good having both of them on the board. Like you said, it's -2 every single round. It's always a nice deterrent to get your opponent to pass, but obviously you don't have the choice if you're Bart right now.
No.
He might just have to get rid of it. He has his own raiding fleet, and that's commitment right there.
It's a big card to trade. It's a big card to not have. Bart's also on his second Blood Eagle here, which might be in DarkKevin's mind, having not played his first one. But equally, this is probably his pass to this situation. He might go in, but this could be his pass. He could also War of Clans, of course, and clear the board effectively.
The thing is, I saw Skjordal coming out. I'm thinking, wow, why are you prepared to commit so much when I am on 7 cards and I might just pass anyway? It seems to me that you really don't want me to go on here, and I might be trading up. It will certainly be interesting. It's a big risk pushing here, as you risk going a card down, and you're already on 4 while Bart is on 6, but he does have that bleed going, which is nice. Let's see.
His hand is slightly worse as well, so he is going to go in here and he is going to play Heron Kaduk, because ultimately, effectively, you can count it as resilience for the location if you choose not to use it now. And he takes the Quartermaster. Is interesting.
Very interesting.
Okay. Oh, it was too early to take anything else, and that is an engine. He can ping some armor there and find some value. We get the second raiding fleet, boat into boat. Okay. And now we're in. So DarkKevin now is in this round, because the bleed is even on both sides. So now we're in a situation where, effectively, we are playing into this round.
Okay, so what are we using the Quartermaster on? Because we chose it for a reason. Obviously, we can use it on Blue Boy Lugos, and we could have quite a bit of control if we got Blue Boy Lugos. The 1 minute I was in the Discord, did he use his Blood Eagle yet? Is Fabian still viable there for him?
Yeah, he's still got Blood Eagle. He's got first Blood Eagle as well, which is much nicer than the situation that Bart's in. Bart's obviously got his second one. So at the moment, that... Do you just remove this boat right now? Is that the... Yes, I think you do. And that's what... So both Skjordals have been and gone. So that's gone. I guess you use one of those charges, or you're holding it to threaten Lugos. You're holding it to threaten Lugos, okay.
I mean, he certainly can.
Oh.
Okay.
And that's the second Blood Eagle out now. Indicates the strength of the hand. Nice. And of course, the boat is actually negative points when it hits Blue Boy Lugos. Oh, very nice. Okay, so Bart finds some very talented pings there. and manages to remove everything he wants to do in this push so far.
The power of control. See, that's exactly what I thought DarkKevin was planning on doing. He had all the cards to do it with. He could have placed it next to his location. He could have given the points back to Blue Boy Lugos, at least 2, and then he had even more pings with his leader. It was a great plan, but perhaps he kept it there a little bit too long.
I think we will get the same thing now. Will we by any chance get a Blood Eagle? We will, but what will we Blood Eagle into? I'm assuming we're killing... There you go, and now we can blood... Are we going to Blue Boy Lugos here? Or, because we've got Bloodthirst, we're going to take Ceres. So, DarkKevin takes the Ceres here. I can see the logic. Also, nice ping location, because now Heron Kaduk could at least heal that if he chooses to, splitting the location card so that you could always use Shield Maiden. I don't think he will, but it's interesting.
And of course, you still have Blue Boy Lugos in a short round 3 with all your leader pings except 1. So that could still make for a very strong short round 3. Yeah. And you have resilience on that location, so perhaps you keep it for now.
Yeah, and there we go. So we've mirrored that. Bart also using all of the leader now. It's weird because it's a leader ability that has realistically so few targets to find the value. It doesn't feel horrendous to use it. And Bart is playing a game right now. I am going to stay ahead of you. That has to be the aim. I'm going to stay ahead of you all the time. From DarkKevin's side, there's a Theabeasty there, and he's looking at that thinking, I have to play this. We can see the Gremist on the other side, though, and he really doesn't want that to be there.
No, definitely not. But are you going to get that same value again is the question. That's a nice 6 points right there.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the hand, it's the risk of it's either that or War of Clans, but War of Clans is a little bit slower than Theabeasty would be if it transferred through. So that's going to be the worry here. And right now, DarkKevin is thinking, how do I do this? It is Theabeasty. It's going to be on to the 6, and I think we can predict the next play very, very quickly here. I don't think it will take Bart long to think about that Gremist, as it's the only value it finds in this matchup.
Yeah, and it's great value. It just turned Trigby into a 6-point card instead of a 12-point potential right there. So very nice. Obviously, DarkKevin was hoping he didn't draw Gremist, and if he didn't, that would have been a big deal. But he does have Herald though. But you do not want Herald coming out onto the board. That would be a bad bleed for Bart.
Yeah, if he can hold that and play every other card, he'll be really, really happy.
Now, the cards that DarkKevin has in hand aren't that great. He might keep Jenga because, hey, it's 7 points and it's a lock. But he can totally get rid of the other 2 cards and he will find value. Bart does not have a lot of options left. He'll probably use the Brockwell Hunt as well as the location.
Yeah. I mean,
but he can't do more than that before committing Trigby.
No, that makes sense. And if you're looking at it at the moment, now from DarkKevin's side, you are probably trading up on everything you're going to play here, or you're expecting to. The fact that Bart can drop just a Brockwell Hunter here will feel really bad for DarkKevin. You're hoping now to see your bronzes traded with golds, but that is not what just happened. So we look at that, and we're going straight into the graveyard here. Oh no, Jenga, sorry, my bad. He's taking Jenga. He has the Bloodthirst, locks that. Interesting choice.
Yeah, that's a little bit of commitment right there. It puts him ahead again, at least.
Yeah, and I think that was the line. I think that was what he was worried about. That's so many points to be able to just drop that. Is War of Clans actually enough here? I don't think War of Clans is even guaranteed to be enough. So it damages by 2, plays a 4-provision warrior from the graveyard. The 4-provision warrior is a 3-body that does 3 damage. So if it hits the armor, I don't think it's enough. Meaning that...
I doubt it's enough.
Oof. So I think, yeah, this is a rough position for DarkKevin here. Push for the bleed, but hoping to retain the card. But I think this may end up... Yeah.
He could use his location, though. He could use his location and get an extra point.
Yeah, maybe that would be enough. So he gets the 8 plus the location is the 9 if he misses armor, but he has to miss the armor, right? Is he going to take that risk? Because the Kaduk only heals for 1, right? And he needs 9 points. Takes the He's not going to take the risk of high rolling. Okay. Because that mean he knows the game is over if he does that. It's not worth the risk. I know it's a small chance of hitting that armor, but he'd rather keep the Kaduk. So.
Well, he is now a card down, which isn't good. It's not good.
Although on the other side he does have his Blood Eagle, and I mean, oof, not drawing the cards he's looking for though.
No, no,
Right.
this isn't looking good for Kevin. Unfortunately, it's
That's
not
better.
looking good.
He needs to find Harold with his final mulligan, I would say, to have any chance here. And even still, I think it's unlikely. I mean, the Grimace will find value because it will deny the Theabeasty, but yeah, we're just going to see a Harold slammed straight away by Bart here. Yeah, and is there a target for Vabiorn left? Oh, multiple. Okay. Yikes. And he's managed to miss the effectively useless Morkvarg as well. Wow.
The thing is, DarkKevin has Blue Boy Lugo still, as well as all of his leader pings, except the one he used on Cirrus. And of course, he has that 6-point card that will be spawned there in a row. So
Also,
we have to take
value.
that into account.
Yeah, the healing value there. I mean, is that your first play? You play that next to Heron Kaduk, and you just spam your leader charges in the hope that you remove one of the two of these cards, because denying some value to either of them is probably a good bet. Or
I think that's what I would have done.
War of Clans, if there was only a single engine on board, would be great, because you could potentially remove it. But so we could take the War of Clans here. Does take the War of Clans here, and he's hoping, by the looks of it, to remove... Ooh. Do you go with the high roll pings? No, you take the engine. Makes sense.
At least with the engine, you have a definite Blood Eagle target there. He didn't use it though.
I think he may have roped out, which is really unfortunate.
Oh
that
dear.
Yeah, I think he may have not
It
had
has
time.
Zeal.
Oof. Yeah, it has Zeal. I think he
That
just ran out of time.
changes everything. He's now going to have to commit his
Blood
Blue Boy
Eagle.
Lugos. He would have had a Blood Eagle target right there. Could have gotten Harold out as well as another engine potentially.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not an engine necessarily. No, the Brockbar Hunter was already used once, but yeah, he would have gotten Harold.
I think,
That's
yeah,
not fun.
and
to
he
see.
would have. Yeah, that's the thing. I think he roped out there. I think he would always have used that ping on Harold if he'd had the time to do so. Unfortunately, he did not have the time to do so. Roped out, because if he had, then as you say, he'd have had that target. Expect to see this just jammed now. Yeah. Can he remove one of these? Oh, that's not where he wanted that ping to land. Oof.
Is he going to do it once more? Does he need to do it once more?
I think he'll do both. Yeah.
Or does he first use his Blood Eagle and then make sure he doesn't accidentally hit the one with Blue Boy Lugos?
Probably, yeah. Probably. Hasn't clicked Heron Kaduk here. There's a good chance. Do you just Vabiorn and kill that Blue Boy Lugos now, though? Is that the line? Bear Witcher hitting it, not ideal. You could just Vabiorn and straight up say, see you later. He's got a 4-point removal in there, so he could just Gutting Slash and kill it. He could have also, he probably should have clicked the location on there as well, so to protect himself from that. But he still has the two. Oh,
interesting. That was an
and he
interesting
activates
play.
it for the location. He's denying value. That's interesting. That's really nice. And the Bear
Okay,
Witcher
so
kills
he's not
it.
ready for Fabiorn. He isn't
Wow.
yet ready to commit it.
That was quite smooth. I wouldn't have played that. I would have just dropped the Vabiorn there. So, Blood Eagle guaranteeing a target, as you say, which is really nice, and it will guarantee the Harold, of course, that he is looking for.
Yeah, he's got that nice bloodthirst requirements, so he gets the full value, doesn't have to waste 1 point on a 1-point card there in the melee row.
No.
Gets Harold, and what are we drawing as bronze? Of course,
A
nice
Zeal
8
Raider.
points right there.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
away as well, because... oh, no, Harold! Harold always removing the Bloodthirst. Every time with this card, it snipes the one thing you don't want it to snipe. It's not going to particularly matter, but...
Oh, look at
It's
that.
but he's got
And
the
we have
Grimace.
Grimace.
He has Grimace.
Nice.
Yeah, the Grimace is there. So that's...
Okay.
Okay, so you ping either side, you heal, and DarkKevin hits for 2. It's so much closer than I thought it would be. DarkKevin from a card down has played that so well. So he does the 2 points of damage there.
We
Wait.
take this with
The
War of
gut-
Clans.
Oh, yeah, I think it has to be. It has to be War of Clans, right? It has to be War
Yeah,
of
we
Clans.
take this.
Yeah, otherwise
It's
'cause there's
enough.
no
It's
Bloodthirst.
another 5 points right there. And
Okay.
Bart takes this, putting us on 2-2.
We go into a game 5. A game 5 then is going to be Bart playing from Red Coin with NR Witches against, what are we playing? It's going to be SK. So that's the matchup we're going to see, and it'll be the final one. They are pushing deep into the evening here. Long, long time.
Also, a quick note here. Whilst there's the cake. Whilst Reppick was busy, the stream crashed. I don't know if that's it. We need to switch to the other link they gave us as backup.
Shoot, you tease! There's an other link?
Yeah, the other link. We were given 2 links, so I will quickly copy it for you.
Thank you. I'm going to quickly switch us over a second, chat. So we are... Hang on. If I do this, I'm going to throw you guys quickly into the deck links for a second. That is... if I do that, then I can go into Discord and grab the stream we need. Oh, wait. The tournament client's going.
Well, it crashed. It crashed afterwards, so perhaps just go with that one instead.
Okay, so we've got the backup.
So the safer option.
Okay.
Yes. Don't worry, we are on it.
Okay.
Backup is helping.
If I do that, and then it is... Now I need to go into OBS. We're just doing this live, chat, so bear with me 1 second here. If I go now into... It's going to be here. It's going to be... there,
Just
there.
Careful, the face is showing
There
and
you
Discord as well.
Okay, so now I need to go into there. That's the wrong game, so let me quickly grab the right one, chat, and I will be right with you. Properties. Oh, come on.
I've got the right one on. Snake jumping in, taking over from Reppick.
Nice.
Teamwork at its best.
I just need to make sure that it can grab the right video feed here. So 2 seconds, because it does not currently want to let me. OBS takes a few seconds to refresh. So chat, just deal with the one that you've currently got. You will be able to see it until it crashes while I add the current. It needs to be... Okay. Plus. And while we wait for this to go through, so what is the final matchup that we've got while I'm playing with this?
That's the right one. Yeah, don't worry, you've got the right one. We're still waiting. So now it is going to be. Let's take a look here. We're going to have at least one Skellige matchup. Let's see. Bart took this one, so I'm getting rid of his deck. It's now going to be Bart's Uprising versus DarkKevin's once again Skellige Warriors Urson Ritual. And it's going to be DarkKevin who is on blue coin, while Bart is on red coin with his Uprising list. So obviously he took this into account when making the decision, and he was willing to go on red coin versus the Skellige Warrior list on blue coin. So this is going to be a fun matchup to see, and this will decide it, folks. The one who wins this game is going to the open event alongside Tailbot. So this is the big one. It has not yet started, so do not fear. And let's hope for the sake of everyone's sleep schedules that this doesn't go. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it won't. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Uprising versus Skellige Warriors.
Aha! I am very, very grateful right now for the players taking just a moment to pick their games, because now we are in and we have Snake's game. Oh. Okay, can you guys... Okay, so Snake has not got sound, I don't believe. Is that correct? So if Snake could just check that, if you could ping him for me.
Oh, Snake using a light white background to...
Yes, the snowy background.
To make me enter the Matrix. That's fine. That's fine. What do you want me to ask Snake, Lionheart?
If you could just check him, he hasn't got any sound on his stream.
Okay.
So, if he could just make sure that gets added on, because it is currently muted. Chat, I believe you can't hear anything, is that correct? You can obviously hear us, but you can't hear anything else. So, I'm assuming silence, right? Snake's in chat. Hello, Snake! How are you doing? I believe you are, if you're there, and I don't think chat can hear anything. Oh, they can hear us, obviously, but they can't hear any gameplay sound. Oh, no, wait. It's very, very quiet. It's there, but it's very quiet. I think. It is. If Snake could you turn your... Oh, you can't turn your settings up now, right? Because if I put it all the way up, it is there. Okay, and you can't edit it from where you are, right? I can now hear them. I don't know if chat can. I don't think chat can.
It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world.
There
It's a final game anyway, so
Final game, we will call it as it is.
it's fine, guys. It's fine. Here we
Well, we assume
go.
final game, unless they draw, of course. Unless they draw. If they draw, then
dear.
it'll be an issue. And of course, we knew this matchup would be Bart. I'd really like to ask Bart why he decided. And obviously, it turned out to be right. He played the mirror and he won the mirror. But I'm interested to see why he decided to take NR Witches, a list he always takes on blue, and traditionally we all kind of take on blue. Maybe that is why he has. He's got the option of giving Veil still, right? So maybe he decided to make that line because he knew he could still get his engine through. Possibly.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can hear the sound.
The sound's really, really low. If I make the gameplay sound on, you would deafen everybody. I have to make the balance of your voice against that. I would have to deafen everyone. So chat, you are going to get...
Right, no, it's fine. Well, it depends on Bart. It depends on whether he wants round control or not. He might have decided, you know what, I'm good in a short and long round. So perhaps I'm alright here with DarkKevin having his Crystal Skull right there. He can take the first round. I might just pass after getting all of my carryover. It's fine. He also still has his Fortune Teller, which will effectively do the same thing if his Witcher survives.
And I wonder if that's part of the reason. Obviously, Fortune Teller is great as a Maddock tech. He would be one of the few people that would have expected, potentially, Tailbot's Maddock lists, because, of course, he may or may not have been prepping with him. Don't know for sure, though. But also, as you say, if you have to take this list on red coin at some point, you can still give Veil. And it's an interesting card to take for that very reason.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've seen a lot of people including the Fortune Teller, and we're committing Margarita off the bat. So actually he's like, no, we want round control. A Bard wants to win round one, and he's going to commit Margarita right now. No time to fool around here. He has all the cards he needs to get carryover as well. He has all the tutors to draw Vesemir. He currently has Adelance in hand, so he could play that as well.
Yeah,
but no, I think
he gets carryover. I think you'd still rather be SK Warriors in the matchup, though. It's a tough matchup. You're going to find value. The only difficulty is there's not going to be a great deal of bloodthirst. If you can play with the Uprising list well, you can deny a lot of that uprising value, but equally you're always playing into giving good Morkvargs. There's going to be lots and lots of damage, so it's going to be a really interesting, potentially final game. Unless, of course, they draw to keep us here long into the night.
Oh, I'm hoping not. I'm sure one of them will absolutely ace this mashup and we'll go into that open event with many 8 points ahead. Okay, so we get our Griffin Witcher Adept on the board. So we've got that engine. Always a nice engine to have, especially if you're going to be committing selective mutation next.
Now, it's interesting here. So when both of these players have played SK, they've not been particularly fussed about round control. It's been a case of, I don't think you're going to bleed me too hard if I pass, but that may just have been the matchups. And they're basically playing for graveyard carryover, which is, it tends to be how SK can play. You can see in DarkKevin's hand multiple boats, or rather a boat and a raiding fleet. Is he expecting to potentially lose round one and have to push against a real Bart 2-0 attempt here? Nope, okay, I take all of that back. He has decided he does want round control, and he is dropping Ceres.
Interesting play. It's an interesting play because he could have gotten some engines on the board so long and still drop Ceres and get that same amount of value, but now he's missing out on at least one turn of engine value here. And Bart goes for Adelant, makes sense. In case he needs to pass, he's getting the carryover.
I mean, the boats are almost, they're not really value here with the current board setup. Because if you just play Witches, you can just convert them anyway. So you can constantly deny that potential damage. So, because you just convert them and switch them over, which is, based on the hand state, something that Bart could very easily do. So that might actually be a really nice read from DarkKevin there, thinking, my boats are going to provide me more value later to deny your shields and things like that in another round, maybe.
Could be, and
And
he
now
does take the pass
takes
here
the
on
tempo
his
pass.
second card.
Okay,
Whoa.
so this
Bart.
is a. I'm not going to let you potentially going to try and prevent you getting all of your carryover. Although I think he draws Vesemir here. He draws Vesemir here. Yeah.
Definitely.
Is Ves enough? Is Ves enough? So this plays for 4, but it actually plays for 8 because you can flip both of them. Fortune Teller.
He doesn't play Vesemir, which is a very interesting.
Now he
I've
will.
watched quite. Oh.
He'll always play it now. He's not worried about bleeding. He knows he can just go into the long round here. He's just playing
That
for
makes
maximum
sense.
carryover. And it's
I just
getting rid of
didn't think
cards he doesn't want.
he'd go that route. Okay, so I was thinking he might just go for the 2-0 and hoping the Witcher trio does it for him. But no, he's going for a long round, and actually a long round is very scary in this scenario. It's extremely scary, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Skellige Warriors control fare against the Northern Witcher engines.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough... Ooh, I don't know which one I'd rather be. 2 Scythemen, not amazing, although they are going to be a lot of points. Ooh, Bricked Witchers. Fortunately, you don't mind bricking them right now when you know you're dry passing anyway, because of course you'd rather have them in hand to be able to mulligan out than be worried about mulliganing to get them in.
Yes, that's very true. Ironically, it's very true.
And a great War of Clans card played for carryover there. That card coming back can remove a 5-point card straight away, or a shielded 4-point unit with War of Clans potentially, if you do it right. So, I know maybe not the shielded one actually, because you have to break the shield, but a long round for NR Witches against a long round for SK. Whoa. And lots of boats as well. Boats are dangerous here.
Boats are dangerous, especially a potential brick here. You don't want a brick raiding fleet. If anything, I sometimes shuffle away something like the boats just in case I draw the other one. You just can't risk it.
And that's the thing, right? Although, he's still got 4 mulligans because of how many cards were in hand, so as a result, it's 10v10. He has as many mulligans here, really. You're likely... I mean, is there much you're missing, though? I don't think you even want them. You don't need them. You have everything you want. You just open with your boat here and say, cool, fight me. Let's see if you can deal with this.
Okay, this is going to be a very fun game. Question is, when does Bart commit Anzies? What is sufficient enough for Anzies to be played? I mean, I would say now is fine, honestly. Get it out of the way. Or perhaps set up your other engines, but you really do need your cards to be boosted for that Scytheman value. You can't really afford having a boat on the board for too long.
And the risk being, of course, if you wait for the second one to come down before you do it, and there's a risk, and we know, of course, the second one exists, if that second one is there, you're in trouble. He could take... Yeah, and it's Anses. It'll be Anses a single boost. He could have used boiling oil from Natalis, but of course that would deny him so much value from the amphibious assault that he wouldn't get. It just makes sense to play it this way.
Definitely. Well, now DarkKevin has the option of playing Raiding Fleet and getting another one out potentially. I see no reason why not to.
Yeah, and if you're having to demand an Anses to answer the first one, you're pretty confident there isn't an answer to the second one available readily, because that's not a card you drop. If you happened to have a boiling oil in hand, you would probably have boiling oiled that. Although maybe you were saving it for Harold. I think the ships trade for more value over the course of the long round, right?
Yeah, getting a ship out is definitely ideal. And like you said, there isn't really any reason to remove Prince Anzies. He's not going to get King Varaxis, so he's staying that way. There's no rush. In fact, I think engines on the board is what we need right now. And you're not wasting any warrior pings with Harolds, seeing that the boats aren't warriors, obviously.
And we're just going straight in and saying, hey, I'm going to play my Harold, you now can't answer it. I'm going to develop as much of my engine power as possible.
But look at that again. Now, perhaps he roped again, but he again didn't use the zeal on his Brockbar Hunter.
Now. He can hold that ping and be really happy about holding that ping this turn instead, because it depends on what gets dropped, and if he can then potentially remove it with War of Clans himself. So this time I think it may have been a rope, but it doesn't hurt him as much now. He knows there's no removal. He can play as greedy as he likes here. And honestly, the long round here, there's so much removal for SK. NR's going to have, like, Bart's going to have a real trouble getting the value here. There's going to be so much control. There's a lot of removal. Like, that can just simply be answered in hand by 1, 2, 3, 4 potentially 5 of the cards in hand remove that card from the board in a single turn. So it's very, very... And that's only one of the many engines denying multiple value from boosted cards. And he goes with the Lugos.
Okay, so...
And there's one, and he gets the double snipe. He will feel great about that. He can just hold that there now.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out if he accidentally roped and if that was the plan. But hey, if it was, then good on him. It worked out very nicely.
Yeah, I think he knows that it's safe, and he knows if you've got a choice between deleting that or a Herald. Just the Ansei's play before gives him such a good read of the hand. You can absolutely see the read of the hand there. It's really nice from DarkKevin, and honestly, this does not look like an amazing situation to be in if you're Bart right now. Okay,
I don't know.
No boat. Ooh, no boat on
like
board
Bart. I like Bart's situation, that is. Though I'm surprised Raiding Fleet hasn't been played yet.
I think it
He's
probably
missing
is
out.
now. And the difficulty is, where are you playing it? I guess if you Raiding Fleet now, the shielded card, right? You pull the boat out.
Yeah. See, well, it would have been so much easier to get rid of the cards now because the boat would have pinged the shields off.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But hey, he'll know why. He specifically wanted Harold on board so he can play his other warriors and get the pings, perhaps. So that's fine. That is fine.
And here we go. So now he's got both
of
those developed.
Right.
Really scary, because basically Bart's carryover is being negated constantly now by both the boat and Harold, potentially. Not double boat, at least, so that's not too bad, but yikes. So now I guess you see the target practice there. You get a convert. Okay, that's not too bad. And obviously the shield absorbs the first ping. That's a client glitch, I believe, there, chat. I can promise you that that is, in fact, an adept. It's fine. And you will switch it back to deny the bleeding value as well next turn, I think.
Could very well be. He doesn't have to do it immediately, but if he doesn't have anything else to use it on, definitely. Now, let's see, DarkKevin. I can't help but feel that he misplayed there with the boat, as well as the one ping he didn't use immediately. I don't know, I feel like there would have been a lot more value if he didn't immediately use Harold instead of the boat. But hey, we'll see if it adds up at the end.
I quite like the holding the ping. I agree. I think whether he roped or not, I like holding the ping because it allows you to make the decision for things like War of Clans to be guaranteed removal. So I think I'm fine with that. When boat over Harold, maybe it's because he'd actually rather Harold was removed, so he's trying to bait any removal with Harold if there was any left, because the boat trades for the unit every turn, because you know there are so many units, whereas Harold is only when you play a warrior. So longer term, you'd rather lose one than the other, right? Oh, and this just gets locked straight away, doesn't it?
I can't think of... Well,
oh, no, Kelder, actually. Kelder.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You have to choose here. You can just kill, though.
Yeah, I mean, Stunning Blow, right? You could just Stunning Blow Kelder either way. And if you're Bart, you kind of have to jam your whole leader into Kelder and hope that Kelder survives. Honestly, the amount of control on the SK side here, this is going to be a very, very tight series. But, I mean, NR Witchers can really pull it out of the bag. Leader ability plus those 3 Witchers is a huge amount of points. Leo, a huge amount of points. So...
And he has last say, which is massive. Morphog won't find nearly as much value as he wants to. So you see Leo being played last, as well as another Scytheman. A lot of points. Don't underestimate it.
Okay, does he now boost this once? Because he should. Oh, no, he doesn't have to now. He doesn't necessarily have to. He just gets locked straight away, right? You always that gets locked. There's no better lock target than that remaining, so that always gets locked here. This is going to be really tight. Yeah, it makes sense. The positive, as you say, for Bart is his leader ability plus Leo Lasse is potentially a lot of points. And here come the Witcher trio, all boosted twice. One of them once because the ship will hit it, but of course, because the others are summoned, they don't get pinged by the boat, notably. Ooh.
All of a sudden, it's looking very good for Bart.
And he's still got, actually, I haven't seen the AA in hand. Effectively, Natalis into AA is it's a huge amount of points. His last 3 cards are all trading for probably upwards of 10, 12 points each. That's a lot of points in this situation, hand for hand. Ooh, with last say, Bart looking all of a sudden very favoured here. I think I'm agreeing with you. I'm coming over to Bart. I think I agree with you. I think this is now. I think
We'll
Bart.
give Kevin his chance. Kevin could turn it around. I'm sure.
That's
Kevin
not the
could.
snipe he was wanting there. I think he
No.
wanted to hit something else and deny some value. Okay, Tirugvi. Do you take Tirugvi for that? You do because it's the max value. You have to go for the greed here, right? You probably hit Anses because it's. Oh no, you can hit Kelda even better. Okay, denying so much. Really nice from DarkKevin there. Denying as much value as possible.
Yeah.
On those boosts, that's really, really sensible. The line you've got to take. But Leo here, and I guess you're kind of. Oh, we're just dropping leader now because you know. I suppose if you're Bart, you're looking at this going, well, it's fine. You're going to hit one of them. It doesn't matter which one you hit, so I may as well just play it while I've got the chance. Wow. I did not fancy this in the long round for NR Witches with the control options in DarkKevin's hand. It's scary how many points they can swarm out even when there are answers.
That's the thing. It's so a consistent list. You just get your points every time. And even with all of that control,
Nice
look at Bart. Well, okay, there goes a lot of the boosts, to be fair.
It does.
Going to
Although
have
one
to
of them, it does deny some value because one of
Place
them also
two
hit
first.
Leo. Scytheman, so that's the target. But with Natalis into AA here, this looks to me like it is game over, and that looks like Bart takes it in what I would say is a pretty unfavoured long round with the control. Bart, I mean, he needs 14 points, but 15 points actually, right?
I take it back. I said Tutor first for the extra point, but obviously he's going to get a lot more with his amphibious assault right there.
Yeah.
And I do believe he takes
I
this.
think
He should take it.
Not by much. This is a minimal amount. Because the boat's going to ping that once, remember? And the boat's going to ping this
Oh,
too.
and the Tutor. Oh goodness, guys, this is extremely close.
Okay, there you go. I think that's enough points. That is just enough, right?
It might just be. Oh no! No!
Oh my god!
No!
Why? No, go with me on this. If he picks the other card, he wins. If he picks the other card, he wins.
Oh no!
If he picks, oh my lord, the other card was 13. Why didn't he pick the first card?
I am now blaming Kevin.
Knight was so
for
many
not
points.
that-
Oh, they're both. No, wait, no, they're both
If
13. No, it is the same.
if
It is
he
the same.
used his ping and he didn't keep his ping with the Brockbar Hunter, we would have had a win here. But no, we kept
They
the
are-
ping.
They are both the same. They are both the
dear.
same. Okay. It is even.
I
Yeah.
didn't think
'Cause
that would happen. I
Yeah.
didn't think, like, it's totally different
Oh.
decks. They're totally different. How do they ever add up with the exact same points?
yeah.
I mean, you can't say, hey, CDPR, this game isn't balanced when this
That
happens.
was so
You
scary.
simply can't.
I missed this
That
board, by
was-
the way. I missed this
Wow,
Christmas
it's a
board.
nice
Wow.
board. It's a nice board, and I've got snowflakes all around me. How beautiful.
You do, because of the white background. It'll fade once we switch through to this. Wow. Okay, so we're going into a replay of this game now. We are going in, and that was so close. I can't believe that, chat. Why? You all jinxed it. You all jinxed that we were going to get a draw here. Long round 3. Oh, wow.
I can't believe this. This was the worst case scenario, and it still happened.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go straight to work from here, chat. I think that's pretty much how that's gonna go. But hey, that means we get more high quality Gwent, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are, because I'm having a blast.
I am enjoying myself too, and I will sleep on your behalf. It's fine. I have no work
Lucky
tomorrow,
you.
and I will sleep for the both of us.
Oh.
It's all right. You'll be okay.
Yeah, 4 a.m. I start. That's gonna be great fun. Can't wait. Feels good. Feels
Big
good.
day, big day.
Yeah.
Hey, it's worth it, right? It's totally worth it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay,
that
well.
last series, what worries me is Bart was in a really good position there. And it's he's not favoured in that position, I don't think. So I'm worried, how does he's now got to get himself into the same situation, but a point better, which is not easy.
Yeah, so the coins flip, meaning it's going to be Bart on blue coin, right?
You replay the exact matchup. The matchup coin,
Ah,
dex, everything is the
That's
same.
a problem. That's a problem then.
Everything stays the same. And now they could draw again, chat. Let's just throw it out there nice and early. They could just draw again, but hopefully we will crown whoever is joining Tailbot in the open here. I'm also completely out of water while they spin. I may quickly go and grab some. No,
Go get some.
I'll be fine. It's okay. I can deal with it. My voice has got another single game in it, I think. Hydrate. Fine. Okay. I will be 2 seconds. I am out of water. I will be back shortly.
I was about to drink water on your behalf, but I think it's better you get your
I saw you.
own. Oh gosh. Well, I am curious to see how this changes now, seeing that they are both tired, and I don't think either one of them wanted this to happen. So, I wonder if Bart ever pushes round 2. I wonder, because that's also something you can do with Northern Realm Witches. You can push round 2. Of course, he can't, again, play until he has 4 cards in hand. That's not going to work. But if he's able to withstand the bleed, and he decides to push round 2, he got always carry over with Adelant, Vesemir. He could get his Witch Trio out, he could get his Scytheman out, hope that DarkKevin doesn't draw Morkvark in time. Perhaps that's the way to go, because he did just test this in a long round 3, and it almost didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a bit scary, because you just had your little matchup test, it didn't work, now we have to try something else in order to rectify that, right? Because, again, I think DarkKevin misplayed there. I seriously think playing the boats like 2 turns earlier, getting that 1 ping in with Brockbar Hunter, already like 1 or 2 points there, potentially.
Maybe. I think the lose there, I think it's bad for Bart, but DarkKevin gets some nice pings for removal when he's hitting his Blue Boy Lugos. I think if he, doesn't matter which way around, he played the boat or the Herald, because I think he got the same pings each turn for when he did, and he would have lost pings on Herald if he did it slightly slower. I think when you've got a draw in a game like that with 10 cards, 100% there was a way of winning that for each player, right?
My goodness, I just never thought it was possible to tie. I just didn't.
No, it just didn't look like a tie, right? It didn't have tie written on it.
No, definitely not.
So, and yeah, as you guys can see, it is now White Snake we are capturing, and there were no kegs smashed, unfortunately. There was always a backup, which is great. So thankfully we are able to take over this, and thank you to Snake for having the backup there just in case. We go in again, chat. We go again.
Alright, I am certain this will not be a draw.
No.
I am
hopeful that it is in fact not a draw.
Okay, so the exact same matchup. Let's see, are the cards any different? So far, I don't see any differences really. It seems very, very standard. Well, this time he actually drew Vesemir, he drew Adelant. He doesn't need to use his tutor. He could use that for something else now. Also, we already have Blue Boy Lugos here. I can't recall if we had it first in the other matchup.
Had to bloody
so we have
out for it.
Alright, we don't have Ceres again, which was, we drew Ceres, I believe.
Okay. So, yeah, no, he hasn't got Ceres in hand this time, but does have access to it through the Blood Eagle. And I'm imagining maybe there was a Blood Eagle last time. I think there was a Blood Eagle last time. Bart's got double Scytheman in round 1 as well. So Bart probably not going to push into this. Again, DarkKevin, very similar line. I'm going to play my cards, potentially for carryover. Maybe he tries the tempo push again so that he gets that pass, because I think he knows being bled is really bad for him here. Bart having round control is fine if he can't necessarily take advantage of it by pushing with that bleed. If he can, it becomes kind of problematic, because we have all seen the pushing power and the 2-0 power of NR Witches, right?
Yes, that's the problem, right? Now, does Bart throw out an engine here? There's no reason he'd ever pass yet.
No.
He would have liked Vesemir, but of course you need Adrenaline 5 for that to work, so you can't get that carryover just yet. Question is, okay.
Just
he goes for a Griffin Witcher. Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, I can see it. So now the engine is there. Of course, it's almost completely removable instantly on board if he chooses to do that, and may well choose to do that. Or he may just leave it alone and continue to set up.
As long as he uses his Brockbar ping this round, I'm very happy.
The risk with the Brockvar ping, I suppose, onto Witches is you could be giving value somewhere else if they get transformed. We know that won't be the case, right? He could just Blood Eagle as well. He could use one of the pings, Blood Eagle, Thin Ceres again, as he chose to. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Nope,
The thing is, well, he can't use his Griffin Witcher Adept off the bat. It is an order ability. So if he were to use both of those now, it would be 3 points, and he'd be able to ping it the next round too. Okay, thank goodness he does that, but he keeps the other one on board, which makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you could... You're never going to Blood Eagle... Sorry, not Blood Eagle. Boiling Oil that. Boiling Oil is very, very unlikely to come out to answer because there are so many other things. Boats, particularly, as we just saw, that are worth so many points.
Ah, okay. So what are we going to be drawing with Selective Mutation now?
You have to get rid of one of those Scythemen. You grab Geralt Quen, because now you have an additional tutor and have got rid of what is an effective brick in your hand, right?
Well, this second round is starting to look better and better for Bart if he were ever to get round control, because he's got everything he needs to have a very short but strong and deadly round 2, though he would need to win this round. And is he prepared to commit? He could commit Anzies or something like that if he really wanted to. Also Vesemir, he could play that soon enough if he wanted to do that.
He can play Ves on his next turn, which he may well choose to do. It depends on whether or not he can get himself ahead quick enough, which he can with that in the event that DarkKevin passes here. From DarkKevin's side, do you ever use your first Blood Eagle and again push with the Tempo Ceres like he did? Because that did... normally the situation that DarkKevin created in the previous round was good. The long round, normally he would be favoured. It was... Obviously it came to a tie in the end. And I would say he would love that same situation. He could just also pass. He could just say, no, I'm out.
I wonder if he'd do that, though. I know he has tested this now, and a long round looks good, but it was also very, very close. And it's simply too dangerous to give Bart round control, especially since, well, he doesn't know what cards he has, but we can see, and it's looking very good.
Oh, and he doesn't get the ping. He doesn't get the high roll to remove that. He's not going to be happy that that has just happened. He was hoping to remove that engine. Bart, of course, equally could just say, cool, I'm going to go, because I know full well you probably aren't going to bleed me. I think Bart wants the round control, though, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Anses with a boost take out this Brockvar Hunter here. It might be a sizable commitment, but I honestly wouldn't be overly shocked to see it.
Me neither. Really, Bart needs to decide now whether he's going for a long round 3 again, or if DarkKevin allows it, or if he is simply going to go for a 2-0 here. Perhaps he changes his strategy. He does have the means to push here if he really wanted to. Anzies finds value.
Definitely. And he's trying to work that out now, because again, usually as NR, round control is important, but overcommitting. The Vesemir, it's nice enough, it boosts the cards on board, it's already got its adrenaline value, so it will also do a little bit of work in hand. He's got a decent amount of reach here, so that in the event of a pass, he can now, of course, get what he wants. He's got all of his carryover developed, not ideal on the other side, so let's see. What do you do here if you're DarkKevin? Because you've still got cards you can afford to play, but knowing you're on blue coin, there's always that little thing in the back of your head, don't lose on even. Don't lose on even here. And he takes the pass as a result. If Bart can do this in one, which I think he can, probably has to be Ansei's front row boost and duel, right?
Or Quinn. Quinn could do it.
And he takes the Quen Thins. Interesting, okay.
It is interesting, right? Because Anzies doesn't always find large units to duel, and you...
Whoa, that's a big commitment to take that round. Leo is huge, although, again, it would just play into a potential Morkvarg, I suppose.
I don't know about that, because there are so many targets for Morkvarg. I would never play Leo here, but...
Yeah, I mean, he gets the round control, and if he draws well here... Okay, that so far isn't drawing well, but if he can draw brick-free, does he ever push? Oh, that is not the hand you're looking to face, though. DarkKevin has the perfect hand to resist that push here. Oh, Kelder not bad, though, and there is no lock on the other side. No lock. And not tutorable, if I'm not mistaken. He's not a warrior, right? The lock is a human, not a warrior.
Are we talking about Jenga?
Yeah.
Jenga's a human, yes.
Yeah, so not tutorable.
No, unfortunately not. It's like Grimace. Grimace can't come out either, no matter how hard he tries.
And Bart
And we
here
are
not messing around.
exactly what I thought. Yeah, we're trying a different strategy now, and we're going for it. We have
I think he's
everything we need.
I think he's pushing for the 2-0. I think he pushes here. And I think he says, you know what, I'm going to try and set everything up. Skelliger pays the veteran tax. I'm going to push here. I'm tired. I've had a long day. I get the feeling his plan here is we're going to smoke, and we're going to do NR Witcher things.
I like this. I like this very much. I'm curious to see when Calder comes out. Potentially add Adrenaline 4, so he at least gets that 2 points. But I also like the fact that you get to use Boiling Oil at some point and you get another one.
Yeah.
But of course, it won't matter. He can simply play it afterwards, even on Adrenaline 3 then, right?
Yeah, it'll always spawn.
Yes.
Always spawn. And it's a weird looking hand. When you compare the two, you'd think, wow, DarkKevin's hand is phenomenal. And it is, no question. But there's so many points in the hand of Bart right now if he chooses to push. Whether he does or not, of course, we will see. And that Ceres coming down to effectively counter the huge number of points just played is phenomenal. And great thinning as well for DarkKevin. So I guess Bart was hoping that wasn't a thing. Instead, nope, straight slam Kelder. And it's answer this.
Nice, that's what I wanted to see.
Okay.
Yeah, playing him a little bit too early. It's a bit risky, obviously, but if needed, you can use Boiling Oil right now and you'd get the points for it. Yeah. You don't know if you have to remove an engine potentially, so you're setting it up just in case. And I don't believe he can remove it immediately.
I don't think he can, right? He can get close, he can do 6 damage, but I don't think there's a card in his list that can remove that, but he could be locked, of course. So basically, this is Bart testing the waters, saying, cool, lock me. Do you have the lock? And the longer this rope goes down, the more confident Bart is going to feel that there is no Jenga threat sat on the other side of the board waiting.
He took a big chance there, but hey, the chances that Jenga is in round 3's hand is so much larger, right? So if you really want to take that chance, now is the time to do it. And Kevin roping
and
again.
Actually, either way, there's no the lock requires Bloodthirst, so it makes no difference anyway. The lock requires Bloodthirst, so he couldn't even have played it if he had it. So he has to play to damage that. So
he
on this side,
around.
I mean, you always Blood Eagle and kill that if you can. So are you going to end up leader charging and slamming to keep that alive?
It doesn't though. It doesn't keep it alive even if you leader slam. I would use Boiling Oil now, and
Boiling Oil. I think you convert it then.
Yeah, right.
Maybe, because otherwise they have to waste removal. Yeah, if it's going to exist, let's make you use removal on it. It will still spawn 1 through the course of this next turn, which is brilliant.
Because he just finds value with Blood Eagle anyway on these tokens. They're already 2 points each.
Yeah.
Well, 2 points. The other one isn't a student. It is a true.
Okay.
I mean, we use Blood Eagle now, right? I mean, it's the best removal we have without wasting too much points.
Yeah, I mean,
unless
Blue
we take
Boy,
Blue Boy Lugos.
I think Blue Boy, there are 2 shielded units, but you've got 4 pings that you want to use on Blue Boy. So you've got a decent chance of hitting it. Blue Boy's really risky, and maybe, okay, looks like he might just be setting up a boat here instead. Oh no, War of Clans removes one of those engines. More random pings? Are we going for more?
Zeal?
No, we're going for guaranteed pings. Very nice.
Oh.
Okay.
Oof, okay. Well, I want to say it's not looking good for Bart, but again, don't underestimate the potential of that Witcher trio coming out. There are a lot of points.
Very much so. And the Griffin Witcher Mentor with Adrenaline now will mulligan something into his hand, so he'll draw that, be able to get rid of that Scytheman if he finds something better. Ooh. Is Margarita with a lock better than that Scytheman here? The answer is yes at 9 points. It really is.
Alright. Well, I guess if the Brockvar Hunter keeps pinging away your boosts, your Scytheman isn't going to be worth a lot, so he's opting for the lock instead with Margarita.
That would make sense. That would make sense. I think as soon as Blue Boy comes down, you kind of have to just spam it. So, this is...
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Bart, you might not get the 2-0 here, but if you can hold the Witcher trio and still have a pass, you're going to be pretty content. And we're going to see the location come out now. Standard. Makes sense.
Right.
And we're
going to... Adrenaline 4 is reached, so it's fine.
And we remove a unit there. Nice.
Now it's getting close here. Already Kevin is ahead by 1 point.
Yeah, which he will feel good about. He will have made sure that that was the case before he played this. The lock, there's obviously only one engine on the board here that you're going to lock. Makes sense, and that's a lot of points. And 9 points.
Yeah.
There's so much boost on that, and you get to deny an engine. Still pretty easy, though, to get out using the location card with, well, every card in the hand right now of DarkKevin. So we'll feel pretty okay about that. I think you might consider trading Ansays here as well.
Yeah, the thing is, Scaliger Warriors go wide, not high. So Anzi's never finds that much points. Obviously, it's still a very strong card, but yeah, you're not going to find exceptional value right now.
No, definitely not. And it'll be, ooh. And I think DarkKevin now is sort of thinking to himself, what is the lesser evil here? I could use my blue boy and potentially trade down value here. So we get, okay, so he gets the Morkvarg out. Good value, again, keeps himself ahead and removes one of those shields. Albeit I expect that shield to instantly be returned and a point gained by Bart if he chooses to carry on here.
Question is, do we continue to push? Do we think we can actually make it with our Witcher trio and Anzi's?
I don't think he wants to play the trio. I think he wants to hold that trio. I could be wrong, but I think he's happy. Plays the Ansays, gives it... Does he need to boost it, actually? Yeah, he'll boost it once so he can remove... Because there was no location click from Kevin, so he's just denied a lot more points than it looks there. He's back ahead again now, and again there are 2 shielded units, making Lugos much worse.
Now it's starting to look more likely that he might go all in here. It depends what Kevin is going to be playing. If it seems that Kevin can catch up here, then it's going to be unlikely that he plays the trio, but he might just go for it. And Morkvarg is already out of the question too.
I mean, he's got first Blood Eagle still here, so he could just play this, play a bronze, and tempo ahead. As long as he can tempo ahead to do that, he may well just be content, as much as you don't want to do it, to drop the Skjordal to guarantee he holds his card here. Because Blue Boy is risky, it could end up being negative points, or, well, if you spam all of it into there, and I think I like the line he's just taken there. It's guaranteed. Yeah.
And he's keeping Blood Eagles just in case. He still doesn't know how he needs to commit. I knew it. Okay.
Well, Bart has decided that this game has gone on long enough. Interestingly, he's left Ansays as a Blood Eagle target, though. He's got... Wait, is that enough points? It's round 2, so Harold isn't amazing. There's not a great deal of carryover. Has he genuinely just finaled? Or is he... Okay, if this ends up as a tie, I swear.
What are we doing here? Okay, well, we still have a lot of value here with the location. We can obviously still use Blue Boy Lucas, get some more value there.
Yeah.
He's going to start off with Harold, obviously, so he gets that. He doesn't get an extra point.
Theabeasty's actually more points right now, isn't it? Than Harold, because Harold hasn't got any decent targets in Graveyard compared. So you get good value on that there. I mean,
it's a 6-point card, so he gets...
If he hits a shield with these Blue Boy pings, I think he loses. If he misses the shield, I think he takes the round.
Ooh,
and now he can't hit her right. Oh, and I think that's it. Is that right?
He still gets
out.
6.
He gets out. He's fine. What's Bart got left?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
There you go. And he can even hold the location. Feels amazing for DarkKevin
here. He didn't use Harold either. He keeps
Harold. That's really important. This is going to come down to, what do you draw now? The 2-0 attempt from Bart did not happen. Witcher trio, been and gone. There is not a lot left, but there is an amphibious assault, and we all know that's quite a few points. And there's the Harold. Ooh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Bart is going to... Is that raiding fleet bricked or not?
I don't know anymore. We've just played a game before this. I recall him almost bricking it. I can't remember this time around if he's played it.
Wow.
I can't see either, unfortunately.
Okay. Bart's hand not great, right? Bart's hand not looking amazing here.
No. No, definitely not. That target practice card can't fight kill, and now he has to play Amphibious Assault first.
Yeah, although DarkKevin plays first as well. So if DarkKevin... Does he take the Herald just to set it up? To try and greed the extra ping? Or does he just simply drop the Raider? I think he dropped the Raider, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I would do the same there. So what do we go for? Do we still have a Griffin and Witcher?
I'm not sure what's in... I don't know what's in deck. Let's find out. What has he got remaining as his choices? I mean, if it's a brick... Oh, there's lots of points there. And you always take the Griffin Witcher. Because now, all of a sudden, their trait... He's got 2 8-point cards left in hand as a result, right? Each of those is worth 8 points. That's a lot of points.
Quite a bit. Oh goodness, this is a lot closer than we might think.
It really is. Oh, if this ends up as another tie.
No, please, no, don't say that.
Okay. So, Harold represents a ton of points. We know this. The location now represents basically 0 points. The shields, though, are going to deny almost all of the value here, right? In fact,
yeah, you're going to have to play Harold first for the ping, and then you can use your 2-point damage right there.
Yeah.
Or else it would be wasted. Do you ever play Radiant Fleet first?
Probably.
You could.
I think so, although it's going to find 0 value other than the boat. You have to... No, he goes for that, okay. In that case, he plays this, grabs that, ping... Bart's got...
Again,
oh my lord, I think he wins. Oh my... Oh no, please don't be another draw. Brain, don't do this to me. Okay. And he converts this one, right? There's no Morkvarg, that's been and gone. He hasn't got to play around going tall. And there's the boat. Oh my god, it's... Bart's got 8 points left. Bart takes it by 1. Bart takes it by 1 point. I think Bart wins here by a solitary point. Oh my lord, what a series that was. Honestly, that was insane. GG's to both players there. After all those hours to still be playing at that intensity, to be pushing with those lines, incredible. DarkKevin, or Cybers rather, has come so close. No question we're going to see some more, and I guess in the top 64 next weekend. That was incredible.
Yeah, GG. And again, so extremely close. A simple misplay cost you the entire game. And Bart taking it and just showing again how extremely strong Northern Realm Witches is. Long round, short round, you've got this. Just get your parry over and you're fine.
Oh, definitely.
Wow. Okay, well, that was exceptionally fun to see.
It really was. And it turns out Legacy have got the first 2 places. They have booked both of the first 2 places in 2. That's incredible. They have genuinely booked each of those places now, both of them. That's incredible.
Well, it seems Legacy is the team to be in right now if you want to make that first open of the year. Wow, and it's so interesting to see the differences between the decks also. Again, Tailbot going for those very unique lists he has himself. They aren't meta, and most of them ran Madoc, where Bart has very much meta lists, and Bart still taking it, showing you could have done this with both. It's not about the decks, it's about the player, and I firmly stand by that point.
That was just wow. That was absolutely incredible. It really was. And yeah, Tailbot's lists have to be my favourite from the day, I think. Some of the plays we got to see there were just absolutely crazy. Oh.
I see chat is going crazy as well.
I'm chat, you haven't stopped. Oh my lord. Wow, that is a lot.
Okay. We like the winners. Yes, we like the winners, and absolutely. And thank you, CDPR. Thank you, Repic. Thank you, Snape. Snape.
Snake. Snake. Severus Snape. Thank you very much. And it's been a real pleasure, yeah. Thank you for joining me, Tia. That's a long day. We've just boarded 6 hours of casting. Really enjoyed it. Thank you to all of you guys for watching, and the mods as well. And Jeff for just sort of hanging out, chilling, and that was pretty incredible, I think. I enjoyed that a lot. I hope we get to do this again.
Oh, totally. I would love to. But just again, having been able to watch it throughout the day as well. So fun. So great. And I learned a lot. got a few lists we have to try this week, Lionheart. Quite a few. And you can always find the list too. It's going to remain here on Lionheart's channel. I'll have it up on mine. You can just come into chat and you'd be able to find it. We can make that public somewhere else too.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Well, I think we need to send you wonderful people on somewhere. Do you have any suggestions of where you would like to go, chap?